Good afternoon, and welcome to the City of Leon Valley City Council regular meeting. Today's Tuesday, August 5th, 2025, and it's approximately 6 o'clock in the evening, and all council members are present with the exception of Councilwoman Bolton, but she is on her way. We do have a quorum, though, and I've asked Mayor Pro Tem Betty Heil to please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you so much. Agenda item number 2 is citizens to be heard. Are there any citizens in the chambers that would like to address the council? Please come forward, state your name and just generally where you live, and you have up to 3 minutes to speak. All right. Good evening, Ms. Chasen. Welcome.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. Push the button, it's not. Good evening, Mayor and Council.
There you go.
I'm reading this tonight because I want to have it in a certain order.
Okay.
Okay. I would like to address the City Council's decision at the last council meeting to put more of an emphasis on our Leon Valley Police enforcing city and state ordinances. It was mentioned that there was a lack of enforcement expressed by the newly seated council member, Beth Murch, who had this item placed on the agenda. Beth Murch has been heard to say that this is the issue that she ran on and was elected on. I find this interesting because she ran unopposed. I'm mentioning this because myself and the consensus from the people that have contacted me are not in agreement with her. At this moment, with our small police force, we want our police to be patrolling our streets, to be on the lookout for vandals, car thefts, break-ins, etc., keeping us and our citizens safe. Several neighbors are complaining on Nextdoor that their guests have received citations. They, the neighbors themselves, were given citations or warning. In the greater scheme of things, safety should be the foremost concern for all of us, the citizens of Leon Valley. If in the execution of their duties, our officers see laws or ordinances being violated, then of course they must do what they are sworn to uphold. I've learned that Ms. Murch, from others, has walked around our streets, taking note of any infraction and then turns her reports into the city. The city must then react. This is not a healthy environment that fosters goodwill between our police and the citizens, nor is it building a good climate when one person is turning in and reporting their neighbor, not because they're anywhere in the immediate neighborhood of her, but just anywhere she happens to be. We can't allow our city to go back to the Gestapo days of our ex-police chief. Our police always do their best for us, but I would much prefer them keeping us safe than taking precious time away writing citations or warnings. I am asking the council to consider the thoughts of my neighbors and myself and reconsider their last vote. I really don't want to revisit and foster the way we were several years ago under the ex-police chief. Let's move forward, not backward. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Anyone else? Mr. Martinez, good evening and welcome.
Benny Martinez, Seneca. I just want to say that I agree with what was just said by Ms. Chasen. We do not need to go back to the way it was before. And I have a problem with having the way the code enforcement is presently done. That should be a police duty and not somebody that is in charge of, supposedly in charge of community and community development. You know, that's a full-time job in itself. And, you know, I know Roque was also helping with the planning and zoning and how many hats does he have to wear before he fails in everything he's got to do? This code enforcement could be a full-time job in itself, especially from what I've heard is the new council member wanting to have code compliance go to every street, every house, and look for violations. That's ridiculous. Leon Valley is not an HOA. Back when the previous administration was around, that's basically what they wanted, is to become an HOA, and we fought that. So please, I urge my council members, revisit this and stop this nonsense. The second thing, real quick, why are we starting at 6 o'clock? I thought regular council meetings, unless there was a executive session, were supposed to start at 6:30.
That was my, I just want to make a comment. That was my error. We did have an executive session on for this evening, and so we moved the executive session to the next council meeting, and I didn't change the time. So administrative error.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else? All right. Yes, good evening and welcome. If you'll state your name and where you generally reside, please.
Monica Ann Arambide, on Complanter Street, Seneca State, for over 45 years.
Monica, excuse me, could you spell your last name so we have it
It's
for the record?
Arrambide.
Bide. Thank you so much. And you live in Seneca Estates.
Yes, on Cornplanter directly, because these pictures are going to reflect what my talk is.
Great, very good.
And let me know if there's extras that need to be had.
And I just noted that Councilwoman Bolton has just arrived at 6:10. Thank you and welcome.
Sorry.
No, I know you're coming from across town.
So this is in regards to the apartment complex, Alto. There's a fire lane exit that faces literally my house. And it has been opened, and it's been an ongoing battle for 2 years. I've been talking to your department, and I feel like all the departments are pointing fingers at each other. And what I mean by that is the fire department, the police department, zoning, code compliance. I mean, everybody's just pointing at it. So what is the issue? So if you look at the pictures, so that white vehicle is my parents'. We've lived in that corner house for the last 45 years. My parents and I have lived in that corner unit, and that cul-de-sac, if you will, has been a very quiet corner. That gate has been locked, and that is a fire gate exit, but that has been closed for the past 45 years.
Okay.
The apartment complex has been deteriorating, and you can see from the fence, from the last page of, there's kids that play in the backyard. I have concerns that kids can fall and hurt themselves from the lack of attendance from the fence. But more so, my parents are 80-plus years old. They're on canes and at times at wheelchairs, entering that vehicle because they can no longer pull up in the driveway. This apartment has been open and now serves as a main entrance to the apartment complex. And if you would notice, it's pretty close. So I've showed every kind of angle to it to demonstrate how close it is to serve as a main entrance to an apartment complex with multi-people living in it, right? And for us who have lived there for 45 years, knowing and have moved on our lives as a very quiet cul-de-sac, it has changed very drastically in this past 2 years. So the maps, if you will see, I kind of showed you the main entrance has a big circle. So if you look at the map, the main entrance, if you will, shows how it was designed and zoned for the main entrance of the apartment, which is kind of faces towards Bandera Road. So that is supposed to serve as the main way to enter the apartment complex. Now, if you look at this image down below, you will see that that's where my parents parked their vehicle, and this is now serving as the main entrance of the apartment complex, which opens up to all of the Seneca neighbor houses, which I am sure wasn't voted or zoned as serving as the main entrance of the apartment complex.
Excuse me, just a second. Monica, we have a 3-minute limit.
I know,
so
I
if
haven't
you'll-
hit it yet. I'm getting
Yeah, I
there.
believe you have. Was that? That was, so I'll give you, if you'll finish
Real
up.
quick. So the last design on the back will show anybody that's going westbound on Bandera will take the red route, which is the way to go to the back entrance of the apartment, which goes straight to the route that is that fire exit. If they do the blue, which is what typically is designed, you will notice that's a long way to go to get back to that apartment complex. So the shortest way to the apartment complex, which is now serving as the main entrance of the apartment complex, is the red zone, and I would like that to change
Okay.
and put it back closed up as it was served as the past 45 years. And
Alrighty.
no one has addressed this issue, and I don't know where to go at this moment of
And I
time.
appreciate you coming this evening, and I'm going to ask you to work with the city manager on that. Yeah.
So I need more information from you, just a little bit more, and so you can write down your phone number on a piece of paper.
And she'll follow up, back up with you. Yeah.
Set up an appointment.
And thank you for expressing your concerns this evening. We appreciate it. All right. Teresa, you're next. Good evening and welcome.
Hi, Teresa Mosier, Canterfield. As far as code compliance and so forth, I was one that voted for that. Because on my street right now is a pile of sofas with garbage and tires thrown on. And if I don't physically do this report, obviously it's going to stay there for a long time because there's no one driving around. I'm not going to report anyone with high grass or anything unless you have rats, which we've had before. Canterfield is like, my street, Balky, is the last street in Leon Valley. Kind of gets left out of everything. So if you start letting your neighborhoods deteriorate and go down, you're going to have critters move in, you're going to have gangs move in. I mean, on this street alone, we have had a flea market that we had to shut down. We have had people that have camped out in vacant houses that we've had to shut down. We have the individual horror house on the top of the hill that, Jesus Christ, you know, that has been a horror to deal with. So we do need code compliance, and I appreciate them circling once a month, so I don't have to be the bad guy and do the reporting.
Okay. Thank you for those comments. Do appreciate it. All right. Anyone else? Okay. Seeing no one, then we'll go to presentation 3.1. Presentation and direction to staff to print paper packets for the city council. And I'm the one that had put this on the agenda. I have a paper packet, and I have new colleagues on the council who have asked, how can I get a paper packet? So I've asked the manager to just summarize how they can get a packet and how much that would cost, and we'd have to, I guess, vote to increase
Yeah,
the budget by $1,200, I think.
Well, so it's roughly about $1,200 to be added, or $1,800, you know, if you want it one-sided. So depending on how you want it. Now, if you do it one-sided, or two-sided at $1,200, you could have item 1 kind of be on the back of item 2. Does that make sense? So when we do packets, we do them single-sided so they can go in the binders themselves. If you want binders and dividers, that number is going to go up. So, you know, it's just a matter of how you want them. If you just want it printed in a clip, it's going to run you about $1,800 single-sided. But if you're just wanted it printed because you want to make notes on it and you don't need it divided, then $1,200 you're going to have to add. You're about $47,000 short in your budget. This also was a part of the strategic plan in 2014 that we would move to electronic council packets. And so we checked that as being completed and done. And so we will be going over goals and objectives again. And, you know, those are flexible. They change, you know, as the elected officials and stuff change. But that was a initiative taken back in 2014 as part of being more environmentally steward to the community, and it was one of the objectives to go paperless for your council packets. And so I just kind of want to make note of that. And then just as a side note, it's a little hurtful to the staff because y'all cut things like the Culligan Water and you cut like $60 for SAM membership. We cut all these crumbs that provided little benefits to the employees, and then you're adding those crumbs back in with these that's kind of the view on it. And so just a little cautionary
I've got a question.
tale.
Yes,
Mayor?
Counselor Orozco.
Dr. Cardera, how much did you all spend on the computers? The computers for each one of us?
So about 1,500?
Okay. I got the computers and I still have a lot to learn. I'm old school, but I'm gonna opt out. I don't need nothing to be printed for me.
So I only did the number based on 3 because the last meeting, you said you didn't need a paper packet and Mr. Campos said he didn't need a paper packet. So I was going based off of Ms. Bolton, Mrs. Heil, and Ms. Mersch. So that 12 and 8, that number, it was based on 3 council members wanting a paper packet. So,
Yes, Ms. Bolton.
I will opt out and I will print it at home. That's fine. I didn't realize it was going to be such a cost. I will just make myself a hard copy.
Actually, the only thing I want a copy of, everything else can be on the computer. What I find difficult is on the consent agenda.
your microphone, sorry.
Your phone.
Your microphone.
On the consent agenda, number 4, where we're going over changing the ordinance amendment to the different chapters in zoning and everything, I would like a printout of that. That's all I need. Everything else I can do on my computer, but that one's really difficult. And if need be, I can go to the library and just pay them and they'll do it for me.
Okay, so then, I mean, if I'm just dealing with one paper packet, that's fine. I just need to know what you need. And then if you individually, so sometimes there are certain charts that just look better on paper, and you can call us to do those individual charts or those individual things, or sometimes you need something specific in that packet. That's way easier than making it a steadfast rule to print every paper packet. So, I mean, again, this is whoever sits here, and what my job is to make sure that the communication to y'all is the way that y'all need it in order for y'all to best understand the information. So please don't get me wrong in trying to make this more difficult than it is, but I just want you to know the history of how we ended up here. There is a cost associated to it, and if you want it, we will certainly do that for you. I just don't want to make it sound more complicated than it is, because it's not complicated, it's just more tedious than complicated, I guess. So if it's just if it's just the mayor or Ms. Mersch's packet, then that's fine, and if you need individual side sheets, we can do that.
I've always had a paper packet, so that's not a change. So I
Yeah,
just-
no,
I can't
that's
do-
not a change.
It's like rubbing your head and patting your stomach up here if I had a computer, so. Yeah, I just wanted to respect my colleagues. And I do serve on the ACOG board, and they provide both paper and electronic to
At your
their members.
request.
No, yeah, but to anybody that wants it on the board, 30-member board. So some do paper, some do so
Electronic,
they
yeah.
try to meet the needs of everyone, because they know not everybody is the same computer literate person. So
Absolutely.
anyway, just wanted to make that note. Yes, Ms. Mersch.
So I do agree with the other counselors that, indicated that there are some things that are much more confusing to try and look at and think of your questions and jot down your questions than others. So if it is an option to ask for particular things to be printed out, I will be happy to use that option until I see that it's not functional anymore, because I definitely will give everything a try, but I don't think that 100% of the packet needs to be printed, but there are some things that are just really, really difficult to understand, and my issue is jotting down my questions around the item that I have the question about, and writing them on a notepad just doesn't give me the correlation that I'd like to see. So I'm definitely willing to try to just call and see if there's something special that I'd ask to have printed out.
Okay.
Okay.
All right,
So I hear the direction is just to call when you need something. And if that's the case, I would just like to, because I don't know what y'all are going to call for, is just like $200 or $300 added to the printing line item in the council manager budget. Just so that way, I just make sure that I have enough stuff there for you, so.
Okay, do you need a motion for that?
No, when we get to the budget, I'll make that
All
note
right,
as part of the
very good.
budget.
All right, very good, thank you. Thank you to my colleagues, I appreciate your flexibility. All right, we're moving then to 3.2, presentation, discussion, and possible action on the proposed fiscal year 2026 budget. Dr. Caldera is here this evening. We do have new numbers from the county, and she's, as far as our no new tax rate, it brought down our deficit, but it has not wiped out our deficit. So she'll, yeah, it was hot off the press on Monday, which was yesterday. So I thank you and Carol for
Carol, yes, absolutely.
rushing through and trying to make all these changes in such a short amount of time. So thank you for
So,
that.
and as we see with the next steps, y'all really won't be voting on the tax rate until September, but I wanted y'all to have the conversation of whether or not, what the no new revenue rate looked like, whether or not you wanted to go to the no new revenue rate, whether or not you wanted to stay the same and or go above the no new revenue rate. I just don't know what that conversation looks like. So we did update the PowerPoint, and so I'm going to go over that. I know there's a lot of items on tonight's agenda, so I'm going to try to be as brief as possible, but I do ask if you have questions along the way that you just ask. Make this a really informal discussion, so I can make sure I hit all the needs that y'all need.
Okay.
That's just the organizational chart. I like to highlight that the people at the top are the citizens of Leon Valley, and then it's the elected officials, myself, and the city staff. You do have sitting in your general fund reserve with this budget $5.6 million. And so I do want to touch on this so you keep it in your mind as we're going through the budget. There was some conversation about assigning dollars for future needs. And so you have $5.6 million sitting in your reserve fund, and we do have an ambulance that needs to be purchased in a couple of years. And so at the very beginning of these budget discussions back in March, I think, there were some conversations about setting aside funds for future needs. So like setting aside $200,000 each year. You will also hear this evening Assistant Public Works Director, Mr. Demeline, give a presentation on a grant opportunity for the pool. And that's a 50% match. And so one of the lower cost options for the pool was sitting at $1.6 million. So that means you would have to come up with about $800,000. And so that's an option for you too, to set aside funds over the next, the pool would have to be, if we were to even get the grant. So there's a possibility that we wouldn't. But if we did get the grant, we would have to come up with $800,000. And you could set aside roughly $266,000 over the next 3 years, because the pool wouldn't have to be completed until year 4. So that's also an option for you. But you would also be holding those funds until we figured out whether or not we got the grant. So maybe you don't want to do that. So it's just something for you to think about, because we did have the conversation about starting to assign some dollars in the budget to earmark for future expenses. So, yes,
Excuse
sir.
me. Yes, Counselor Campos.
So some of the other things that I know we've had in our packet for the future capital expenditures, where this money's supposed to be used for, is we have maybe a need for a new ambulance, is what Krista was talking about, a possible fire truck replacement. We're going to need police and fire radios. We know that's going to be over $1 million. We have the police property room improvements or expansion that is needed, because we're outgrowing, from my understanding, where we need to keep our evidence. And then we have in the public works area equipment replacements that are well over $1 million over the next 3 years. So there is a lot of needs that this money is going to be used for. It's not something that we can just take and say, oh, well, we can use it for this project. We still have our portion, I believe, is of the next hike and bike trail segment that needs to come out. So there's money. This has got a lot of things that are attached to it. And it may be wise to start assigning some of those monies to it, because if we don't think about it, we're going to say, oh, well, we've got that money to spend. Well, it's for our future capital needs. So.
Okay, thank you. Go ahead.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And then you do have $1.2 million, which you increased last year by $250,000. So you have a total estimated sitting in reserve of 6.8 million, which equates to about 5.5 months of operating income. So everybody's like, well, what does that mean? I'm like, well, zombie apocalypse happens, you can pay the staff, for 5 months, is essentially. You could keep, essentially what you can do is you could keep the lights on, keep operating for the next 5 months. So in this budget, you have a deficit of about 47,000, and we'll talk a little bit about that. We did get the no new revenue rate. So the original budget and the budget conversation was based on, go ahead.
Excuse
I'm
me.
sorry, Mayor.
Yes, Counselor Campos.
So, Dr. Caldera, this, on previous slide where you have the deficit, that's assuming, is that the assumption of going with a new no revenue rate?
Correct.
Okay, just want to make sure that's clear to my colleagues.
Say it again.
This is based upon raising the tax rate to the no new revenue tax rate.
Correct.
Which is 2 pennies from 0.48 to 0.50.
Getting there, next slide. And so, what your previous budgets have been based on is keeping your tax rate the same at 0.48. And so people ask, so quick tax class. The county and the tax assessor collectors takes a look at all your property evaluation, and the county comes in and says, hey, we want to get you as close as we can, and we've had this conversation before. It doesn't get you exactly dollar for dollar. There's a lot of assumptions in there, but Bexar County comes in and says, we're going to try to get you as close to giving you the tax rate that will give you the same amount of money that you had last year. And so they ran all the numbers. We don't do that. They ran all the numbers and said 0.48 is not going to get you what you have before because your property valuations went down. And not necessarily residential property. The majority of the property valuations that went down was in your multifamily complex. And I have more detailed information on that, but essentially a lot of the apartments got legal support and they went and they challenged their tax rate. And so in some of the information that we got, we saw that they were able to bring down their property valuations down by about $14 million. So they were the largest kind of property valuation loss that you had. We're not the only ones facing this market correction. There are other cities in a very similar boat, including the city of San Antonio, if you've been paying attention. And so the county said, okay, your no new revenue rate, for you to get the same amount of revenue last year as this year, your tax rate has to be about 0.50. So it's about 2 pennies more. And so if you want to cover the 47,000, or as we go through the budget, if there's other things that you want to cut to bring down that 47,000, that's the conversation we're going to have this evening. You would have to raise it 0.5 cent more than this to cover the 47,000. So it'd be 0.510135 if you want to cut that. So it's roughly 0.005095. So roughly 0.5 cent more to cover the 47,000. Or you, as we go through the budget presentation, you tell me what you would like to cut from the budget to bring down that 47,000 deficit.
Would you repeat that number again for the 1/2 cent
So the
increase?
So the 0.5 cent increase is 0.005095.
Okay, so,
And I'll email it to you, Mayor.
okay. thank you.
But it would raise your tax rate to 0.510135 if you want to cover the 47,000 that way.
Okay. Yes, Counselor Heil.
So if the taxes are raised to the 0.50, how much, on a $350,000 house, how much would their taxes go up a year?
So your average home in Leon Valley is roughly 230. I think I have this slide in here. Oh, maybe it's on my other one. Is it here? It's here. I didn't know if I kept it there or not. I think I put it on the other one.
I'm sorry, you're going to get to it anyhow, I can wait.
Oh, there it is.
Oh, there it is. So it's 230,000. So it'll actually raise it about $46 a year, roughly.
Okay, thank you.
But that doesn't take into consideration, or does it take into consideration the exemptions?
Yes.
It does?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, everybody's exemptions, I want to make that
Yeah.
clear. Everybody's
apples
exemptions
to
are different,
apples,
but
yeah.
yes, So the estimated cost is just that. It's an estimate. I mean, you could have a $300,000 house. It's not going to be a $46 increase. It's going to be a little bit more, and you can have a different exemption. But the idea of that estimation is given to us by the tax collector assessor's office, and they give us the average cost of the home in Leon Valley, which is $230, and then we come up with the estimated $46 increase. Okay. Where was I? So the Bear County Appraisal District came back and our valuations went down 46 million. And so the average taxable home in Leon Valley is 230,000. I like to show this chart because it shows we don't get all of your tax dollars. Northside Independent School Districts gets the majority of it. And then we come in and we take about 1,100 on that kind of scenario there.
Yes,
Go ahead.
Counselor Campos, thank you.
So just to be clear, on this tax year 2025 certified average home taxable value of $230,391, that number was given to you by the Bear County Tax Assessor's Office.
That's
This is not something that we came up with, and this number is after you've deducted the 20% exemption if you're over 65, if you're military. This is the average for
Average, correct, because everybody's got
Community.
different, I don't want somebody to be like, well, here's my bill. Well, I mean, you may not be military or you may not be 65 and over. This is just an estimated what you're looking at. So, but we like to give an estimation, yes.
But everyone's going to get 20%.
No, the 20% only applies to the people that aren't 65 and over.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yes.
That's the majority of the people. I mean, everybody over 65
Has
gets
the tax
more. That's what
decrease,
I'm,
right.
that's my point. You get another one because you're over 65. You get another one because you're a
could be
senior,
military, senior, disabled. Everybody's got different exemptions.
Exactly. But the majority of the people will get that 20% exemption from 64 down.
Yeah.
Correct?
I mean-
Which,
I-
okay.
I
Did you
show
have-
it is that everybody gets the 20%, and if you're 65, then you get an additional amount.
No, I thought. The way it is?
That's
Okay,
the way
I'm
I
sorry. I
calculated.
remember it the other way. I
Yeah.
thought it was the one that provided you more. I will double check.
Double check that, yeah.
I will. I thought it was, from my understanding,
That
it
was
was
what I
the
thought,
one
too.
that provided you more, because I thought I asked that question last year. But I will double check for you.
Okay, and then the average city of Leon Valley levy, the 1163, is merely the 230,391 times the 0.505040 rate,
Correct.
okay? Just for everybody to understand what that is.
And so I know there's been some questions on property evaluation loss, because the question comes up, well, my property value never goes down. I've only ever seen it increase. This is crazy. How are we getting a property valuation loss? I don't come up with a property valuation loss. The county's the one, when they sit down and go over the tax review, that's who you're paying. They're the ones telling us this is the estimated property valuation loss for next year. We're not the only community facing it. And so if you take a look at the listing, the biggest hit was your multifamily, and you lost about $31 million from your multifamily. And I gave the council the breakdown of what apartments those actually were. And so they came in, and that's your biggest hit. So if you take a look at your tax rate, you were at 0.53. The council reduced it in 2023 to 0.48. We've been sitting at 0.48 for the last 2 years, and the projected no new revenue rate for 2025 is 0.50. So you're still less than what you were in the past. So even with going to the no new revenue rate, we're still showing a loss of about 27,000 from the year preceding. So I know the question always comes up, I thought we were supposed to get the exact, it's not exactly the same. There's different variables that come into play, but it gets you pretty close. We are projecting a sales tax increase. I put 2% in there. It's still tracking about 2%. Franchise fees are going down a little bit. That is typically like your Google Fiber. We had a big increase at one point when Google Fiber was first coming in. They were paying their franchise fees, and so those fluctuate based on how many people opt in those franchises and don't. And so we're just seeing, based on the forecast, just a decrease in that. We're seeing a decrease in building permits. Even if I were to increase the building permits, you increase it on your expenditure side as well, so it becomes a wash. Your court fines are going down, your EMS revenue is actually going up. The grants just went down slightly, and then just other is going up a little bit. And so if you like to see your revenue breakdown, the majority of your revenue is your ad valorem tax, which is your property tax, followed by your sales tax. So we are showing a decrease of expenditures. You know, me and the staff did our best to try to cut all of your expenditures the best we can. And so we cut about $380,000 from your budget to try to bring that expenditures as low as we possibly can. Again, you know, this is our closest we've ever been to what we consider a zero-based budget. And so, you know, we've cut $383,000 in comparison to last year. So I think that's an extraordinary thing from the staff. From your capital expenditures, it decreases. We did have a decrease of $699,000. If you take a look at your expenditures, your highest piece of the pie is personnel. From the expenditure part, from the personnel, your largest one, of course, is public safety, and that includes police and fire. All right, so here is the summary of your actual budget. And so if you take your revenue, so a little bit of a budget lesson, you take your revenue at 16 million. Out of that 16 million, you're going to subtract your hike and bike trail grant and the ARPA for your ambulance. Your ARPA funds are still supplying your, this is the leftover ARPA funds that we have dedicated to pay for your ambulance. So that leaves your total operating revenue at 14,765,000. Now let's take a look at your personnel cost. Your personnel cost from last year to this year has gone up 3.4%. Out of that 3.4%, 7% of that is an increase in health insurance cost. So you will see at the next council meeting, worst case scenario is the 7% increase in health insurance costs, which has come down. So in the original estimation, we were estimating a 15% increase in health insurance. We got our rates in. We're probably going to have to change carriers. We're going to have to leave Blue Cross Blue Shield and go to United Health, but that will provide you only a 7% increase. We're still negotiating, so that may come down a little bit lower, but worst case scenario is 7%. So when we talk about monetary, it's looking like the staff from a monetary perspective will see a 2.6% increase. Now, I do want to note and make an emphasis because I know that it's been put that the staff is getting a 2.6% raise. The staff is not getting a 2.6% raise. Some staff is getting 0. Some staff is getting 5% or 3%. What the council adopted was a market rate adjustment. And so some people are getting $0, some people are getting 5%, some people are getting 1.2%. But the average is 2.6%. So there was I don't know if there was confusion in that, but just to make that a little clearer. And so you see the increase in personnel cost. And so your total expenditures for the year is $14.8 million, which shows you short about 46,964, so we're saying 47,000. This breaks down your revenue. So when we talk about ad valorem, this is what's in ad valorem. We talk about sales tax, this is sales tax. Franchise fees, this is everything in your franchise fees. Your licensing fines and fees, you'll see everything here. Your grants. These is your other. I do want to know, and Mr. Campos caught this earlier, it says 4th of July funding. It's not, it's community events. It's what's left. It's your 10,000 in overtime. It's your Earthwise living. It's your holiday lighting. And it's a portion of your pool contract that's sitting there. But so that's mislabeled. And you'll see, I have 2 more mislabels in as we go through. It's more of like when we move stuff over into the PowerPoint. In the amount of time we did it yesterday, we just didn't catch it. So that's that revenue. Court expenditures. These are your court expenditures, your personnel costs, your supplies and contractual. This is the breakdown of those expenditures. So as you can see, we have cut pretty much everything in court. We're only leaving the $2,700 for postage, $200 for janitorial supplies. We are cleaning the judge's robe only once or twice next year. And then we're replacing just random court equipment. We have a receipt machine sometimes that goes out, or keyboard or whatever, so that's replacement of court equipment. Then we have to pay your prosecutor, which is about 42,000. And then we cut your judges. That means you're only going to have court half the time next year. So we did cut both of your judges' fees. They should have been, I think in the original budget, double this amount because the council opted to go ahead and increase the judges' fees. But we're also, in order to save money, we're decreasing the court dates for next year.
Well, they actually requested an increase.
Well, yes, in their
The judges
contract.
did, and so we honored that.
Correct.
Yeah.
But you didn't have
But
to.
we-
You can go with a different judge. I mean, you
Yeah,
can go
but we ended up, so it's, instead of weekly, they're going to be here twice a month?
twice a month, and we're going to work out a calendar. I don't know what that looks like
Okay,
just yet.
all right.
So then you have your jury trials and your bench trials. We cut all of those too for next year. Cut extra jury dates. We just cut it. We have to pay for DocuSign. And then all of your utilities. The one that we're going to be working on is this one here, is your processing fees. It's your credit card processing fees. And a couple of years ago, the council came in and made adjustments to that fee structure. So we're going to have to bring that back to y'all. It's not looking like it's a wash right now, and so we're going to have to figure that out. But as of right now, that's kind of where it's sitting, is just an increase of processing fees. Finance expenditures, so the finance department, these are their personnel costs, supplies, and contractual services, and I'm going to go through the breakdown. So you can see here, we've cut everything. We've left her printer supplies, paper, her shirt. That should be gone. The shirts need to be cut. Saved you $300. The postage, general supplies, janitorial supplies, and then these are hard costs. So this is the cost for your audit. This is a cost that we have to pay for Bear County. This is your ad valorem collection fee to Bear County. These are your sex ruling and your employee bonds. These are all regular hard costs. This is your city manager and council budget. This is the summary. I'll bring down the breakdown to you. This is, we basically have either cut everything or kept everything the same. General supplies, $1,200, printer supplies, $3,000, postage, $310. The biggest thing here is we cut we typically, like this evening, if we have a council meeting that starts before 6, we would normally feed the council. We've cut that. We left the town hall meeting and the coffee cost. But we cut all the HR enrollment, all the HR promotion packets and stuff that we normally do. We cut the employee award pins. So like when you hit 5 years, you would get a pin. You hit a certain, you get a watch. We just cut it, so we will not be funding the employee awards pins or plaques. We left the, anytime I need attorney advice, so we kept $10,000 in there for that. If we get sued, our deductible is $5,000, so we normally put $5,000 in there for that. Everything else is pretty hard cost. The city contract for the city attorney is $60,000. The prosecutors moved over into the municipal court, so you see that cut, but it's in there that we just went over. You see Muni Code and all of these things. Yes, they're cut, but they still exist. This is all of your code of ordinances, your website hosting, your agendas, minutes, all of our streaming stuff, all of that stuff, but it's hosted in your IT budget. We've just moved it over. We cut the Culligan Water, and then Haven for Hope is going to be funded hopefully by the county next year. This is your information technology. Again, I'm not funding it with personnel next year. We'll be sticking with tech lead, and we're going to kind of muddle through the year and see what that looks like. That did save you roughly about $63,000 in the general fund. We cut anything that was miscellaneous. The thing that's big here is the $25,000 for the laptops in the fire department. They will no longer be supported by Windows. They are so old, they can no longer be updated anymore. You do not have a choice. They have to be replaced. But he's not even buying new. He's buying like refurbished in order to keep that price down for you. This is the other mislabel. It says for 5 directors or docking stations. It's actually 4. And it's not for directors. It's just various computers that need to be replaced that are just old. Down here, this says 5 replacement desk phone. It's actually 1 phone. Replacement of a laptop and replacement of a desktop other. These are just ones that typically will go bad, but these should be 1 and 1. This is just the IT tech lead, your Encode. Here is all of your Civic Plus Muni Code that I showed you earlier. That was in the other budget that was moved here. Your just FOIA cost. Trying to think of anything over here. This is MicroAge is your Microsoft Office 365. Your police expenditures. This is the breakdown of your police expenditures. We didn't increase anything in police. You'll see ammunition went down. We moved this into the crime control budget. We're required to provide ammunition to all your police and fire. They have police officers and the firefighters that are peace officers, and they have to qualify, but we also have to provide them ammunition to practice before they qualify. Fuel, replacement of equipment, the cost to go to the shooting range. I'm trying to think, flares, everything else we've kind of just maintained the cost of all of these, which typically means it's less than. So as you know, nothing ever goes down in price, it goes up in price. And so we're just not buying more, we're probably buying less of what we need. This is the police department. Again, we cut the Culligan water, we cut animal boarding, but we moved that to a new department under animal control. Your forensic testing did go up, that's just a cost. Your Cardinal CAD system went up in cost this year. Trying to think of anything else that's in here that's a little odd. Your Axon body cameras, and then our radio airtime with San Antonio. This is, oh, we went through that. So in the capital for the police department, we do have a gym in the back for the police department. The last time we replaced a piece of equipment in there was back in 2014. It's all breaking and or dying. In the original budget request, we requested all new equipment. Of course, we couldn't afford it, and so we're just asking for 1 treadmill, and then each subsequent year we'll be asking for 1 piece of equipment.
And did somebody bring that up at the coffee about Planet Fitness trying to replace
Place
their
equipment, yes.
equipment? So we
yeah,
might
so we
could
just have
get,
somebody reaching out to them.
I mean,
It's a little bit more complicated than
Okay.
that, because I can't, I have to make sure it's been checked, I have to make sure if it has warranty stuff, because if I have an officer get on there and it doesn't turn off when it's supposed to or goes haywire, we can get in a lot of trouble. So we typically ask for new, so it comes with all of the
Okay.
correct stuff.
so you're not interested in the used?
Typically
Okay.
not, but if it's something like weights and stuff that, you know, we don't, there's not a malfunction that can happen, absolutely.
I just
So-
thought whoever brought it up, I
Yeah,
thought that was a
no,
good
that was a great,
good
it was a great
example.
idea. So yes, but
Yeah.
we will be looking, we do have things that we buy on surplus. We have things that are donated to both the police and fire department, and we appreciate those things. Yes, absolutely.
Thank you.
Impound, and so there really isn't a big increase here. Here's the breakdown of impound. It's literally our pencils, keys, tags, office supplies, window film, duplicate keys, the towing expense, auto data, the ward auction. So it's very small budget for your impound. We are asking for security cameras, but if I got that correct, we were able to yes. Hold on just one.
Just a second, Mr. Burr, just a minute, I need to call on you, but Chief is being called on first, and then if you would like to say something, then we'll
So
call
were
on
we
you
able to
next.
cover the cameras in this year? Okay, so this is gonna go away. So we had money left over at the completion of our impound, and so the cameras can be purchased in this year's budget, so this 10,000 will come out.
Will
We were
come out,
still-
hey, so that just brought the deficit down.
Well, no, it's capital.
Oh, it's a capital, that's right, never mind.
But it
Okay.
did raise your reserve fund by $10,000.
Okay, very good. All right, Mr. Barrera, do you have a question on this particular agenda item? Mr. Barrera, do you have a question? Go ahead, you need to come to the podium, please. And Mr. Barrera is on El Verde Road, and you have a question on this particular line item? Okay.
This
Impound
meeting
lot.
is going very, very fast. I don't see anybody asking questions about anything up there. Are we allowed to stop you so that we have it fresh in our mind.
Yeah.
So if you go through the whole thing, I'll forget what to
Yeah.
go back to.
I just recognized you, so the answer to that is yes.
That is yes?
Yes. And Dr. Caldera had said to stop her
Let's
if we
go
had
back to the
questions.
impound.
Now, Mr. Barrera, let me just say,
Okay.
we have gone through the budget
Pretty fast.
6 times, no, but we've looked at it at least 6 or 7 times. I mean, we have, so that's one of the reasons we're not asking a whole lot of questions, because this is
One
not the
question.
first rodeo. I mean, we've been going through it
Okay,
and going
that's
through it. So
fine.
just so you'll know.
At the coffee, I asked a question.
Mm-hmm.
You never gave me an answer, okay? And that was, where did the $200,000 come for the impound? Where'd y'all get that money? The people want to know. I'm not the only one.
Okay?
It's a lot of money. From who?
The reserve fund,
What reserve? From the taxpayers' money.
well, it's the,
But that's wasteful. We already had an impound. What do we want to put, 200,000, we could have replaced the water main on 3, 4, 5 blocks that are asbestos.
okay.
Don't you
Excuse me.
think that's more?
There is a
logical?
correction to that. Dr. Caldera says it's 96,000, not
Oh,
200,000.
no. One piece of equipment is 50,000. One piece of equipment, and I can vouch for that. And the asphalt was another 50,000. Had we gone with the contractor.
96,000, so 50
The
plus 50
fencing was
is
another
100,
one.
yeah.
The lighting. People worked there for over a month, about 5 people. You add all that up, it adds up quite a bit. People just want to know, where did the money come from?
I thought our Public Works did the work, isn't that correct? So they're already on salary, so we didn't have to pay any extra salaries, my understanding. So 100,000 is what Dr. Caldera said,
Whether
that's
they
about
were
right.
Leon Valley employees or whatever, I mean, still got to get paid.
They
I
did.
mean, they could have been doing other work. They could have been cutting the tall weeds of 5 foot tall
Yeah.
on El Verde Road and on the creek. They could have been doing that, but you couldn't, because she said, the only way we can do it is we have to hire more people, but we don't have the funds. We don't have the money. Now, we could raise your taxes, but you spent 200,000 on that thing out there.
Okay, it was 100,000, not
More than
200,000.
100,000, believe me.
Okay, well,
Then y'all have
Okay.
that, it's an open record, I can see it,
yeah,
you see it's
you
100,000?
yeah, you bet. Just,
I know one piece of equipment alone is 50,000.
okay, all right, thank you, Mr. Barrera. We'll try to solve that
Okay.
issue.
So,
Yeah.
and then the majority of it came from what you've raised in your impound lot. And so what the money that has come from auctioning off the vehicles, those dollars went into your general fund reserve. One of the big reasons we had to move your impound lot is we had some flooding issues at the current location that it was at, and some of the cars that we were impounding that we could be liable for, that people were still going to come pick up, could get flooded, and we did have some cars that actually did get flooded during one of the rain events. So that was one of the initiatives. The second initiative was it was taking staff and the people coming to get their vehicle. They have to come here and pay. Then Jimmy would have to get in a car and drive over there, and then the person would have to follow Jimmy over there. And some people came without a car because we impounded their car, so they came on a bus, and they can't get into a city vehicle, so they would have to walk all the way to Public Works to pick up their vehicle. And so again, there was reasons why we moved it back here for easy accessibility. And so those were the pro factors in moving the impound lot that were given to the council to move them. I didn't make the decision to move it. It was brought to the council, and the council ultimately heard that decision. So.
Okay, thanks for that explanation. Okay.
The fire department, these are the personnel, supply costs, and contractual. Here is the breakdown for all of that. Your general supplies is 4,000. Your janitorial supplies, your fuel. You can see here we took everything down. The only thing that went up is bunker gear. Just the cost of the bunker gear just went up. Your firefighting tools, we kept the same. The one that I've told y'all that I'm a little bit nervous about is more on your repairs and maintenance. We have it sitting at 70,000. We're tracking more closer to 100,000. Essentially, what I've told the chief is if we have a large cost repair, we're just going to have to come back to y'all for a budget adjustment. It's not typically how I'd like to do things. I like to stay on track of how we're forecasting, but it is a little bit of a roll of the dice. I'd hate to increase it, and we don't need the increase because the repair doesn't happen next year. or just doesn't go wrong next year. But you can see here, disposable supplies went up a little bit. Oxygen, just cost of oxygen has gone up. And then your PPE gear has gone up a little bit. If you take a look at their contractual services, for the most part, everything, we tried to take everything down. We didn't fund fire hydrant and hose testing. That means that what'll happen is we have to do that internally. We've been doing it that way for a long time. We did have a recommendation from the Fitch study to contract out for that. So that way we ensure that we're getting it done. And we had 50,000 sitting in the budget for that, but we couldn't make it work. And so we did remove that. So I do like to note that. Everything else is sitting in here, and everything else is, we either reduced because of the forecasting, or we kept the same.
And what is medical control? You had that reduced.
Yes, so medical control is, we have to pay UT Health. They're the ones that go over all of our paramedic run reports. If we need medical advice in transporting a patient, if we have to give medication, that's medical control. We went out for an RFP, and the cost just came down a little bit.
Okay, great. Thank you.
This is the ambulance you're replacing. We ordered this ambulance 2 years ago, so we're hopefully gonna get it. It's about so for those of you that don't know, when you order an ambulance, it takes 563 days to get it. So, just so y'all, if you need some knowledge. Public Works expenditures, this is the Public Works piece that comes out of your general fund. This is the breakdown. So Melinda took the biggest hit. I cut Melinda's budget quite substantially. If you take a look here, building maintenance, we cut by 1,000, but then you'll see bigger hits like just materials. If she couldn't justify it, I said, oh, Melinda, sorry, it's gonna go. And so we did cut those things, but materials or anything like extra wood, nail, things that come up during the year, and so we did cut it. Her PPE, boots, and personnel stuff did go up a little bit. Right-of-way maintenance equipment, we just brought it down. The dog kennel AC, this money is what came from Samir. So as part of that agreement, he gave us 5,000, so that's where the dog kennel AC is going. And it's actually not the dog kennel AC, it is the TNR hut, the cat AC, so that's a mislabel. Repairs and maintenance internal, you can see we kept everything the same. It's just our regular stuff that we purchase and buy. It's what we've been tracking for the year. I did cut her miscellaneous budget quite substantially. Again, I made all of the department heads justify every expenditure. Your Public Works Department, professional services and contractual services, for the most part, everything's come down. We are trying some software that we signed 2 years ago, so this is the end of some of these contracts, but they've been working really well, like Urban SDK. It does all your traffic reporting, gives us raw data on cell phones, and it helps our engineers when we're doing reporting and stuff of that nature. Building maintenance and pest control and all of that stuff is sitting there, but I did reduce it by 15,000. If she couldn't justify it, we cut it. And then emergency contractual, she had 25,000 and she's had 25,000. And we do sometimes have emergency stuff that comes up throughout the year. But if we didn't have the added actual expense in there, I went ahead and cut it. And so if she has a large emergency contractual issue next year, like a street caving in or something, we'd have to come for a budget adjustment.
Okay, and would you address the liability insurance, because it's per department, but
Sure.
for the most part, didn't it go down?
So, yeah, so we just got new rates in, and so that's attributed to the staff. That means that they're taking the proper safety measures. We're not having a whole lot of workers' comp injuries. They're doing their stretches before they go out. They're being more cautious. And so we try to emphasize, we ebb and flow in workers' comp claims, and so your liability insurance finally is starting to kind of come down. I say that, and then next year it's going to spike because something will go wrong. But that's what that is.
Okay. This,
Public Works Capital, it's ATV, concrete grinder, and equipment trailer. Planning and zoning expenditure, and if at any point anybody's got questions, please just raise your hand. I'm more than happy to answer any of the questions. Planning and zoning expenditures, or give further explanation on anything. You can see here, here's the actual breakdown of everything, 2,500 just for regular, cost of doing business, postage, computer hardware. Everything else was completely cut from the budget. I cut the uniforms, I cut the plaques and trophies, we just cut everything. Here is where you see the breakdown. So what I did do a little bit differently because I wanted to keep track of it, so we're a little bit more transparent on the professional services side, is your building inspections. And this should be a wash, so if you add all of those up, should be a wash on your building permit side. So that's why I said earlier, if you see a decrease, even if I raise the revenue, this is the expenditure piece. So it would be a wash and it doesn't impact your budget at all. But what I did was I tried to break down all of your inspections by the new subdivision so you could see how that's tracking. So this is our estimation, our regular building, building fire plan inspections, and then I try to break down the BB inspections for Seneca West 1 and 2, Sena 1 and 2 in the trilogy, so we can keep track of what that looks like next year.
And are the engineering services our cost, or is it the developer's cost?
Some of it is, the majority of it is the developer's cost, but sometimes we have random engineering questions for something, and so that's at our cost.
Because it went up by, you increased
Yes,
it.
and so
yeah.
this is attributed to this up here. So the engineering increase that you see here, this 25,000,
Right.
is attributed to the developer's increase here,
Right.
which goes back to your building revenue side. So it should wash it out.
Should wash out.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
Very good, thank you.
Your health inspection costs, your Canon, your My Permits Now, your city attorney, if we have any planning. I did reduce this one. I don't have any big planning and zoning things coming, like huge code reviews coming. So I'm hoping we stay there, but if you wanted a huge code review on like the whole, like we did for this, the chapter, that's 15,000. That's the cost for that. So, I'm not anticipating, nobody's alerted me to any large overhauls that I was anticipating any planning and zoning overhauls. But the reason that we had 15,000 in last year was because we planned on the sustainability.
Sustainability, yeah.
Yes, ma'am. This is your economic development expenditures. This is the breakdown. As you can see, it's basics, the plotter supplies, business cards, miscellaneous, just for little things that come up. His portion of the city attorney's fees, ZAC tax, Pacer AI. We did cut local intel, that contract ran up. I do have the PEG channel money sitting over here. This is just his portion of utilities. And then the big one is ED project funding. Again, just any project funding that comes up. If we need to spend it, then we can spend it out of there. Code and animal control, this is a brand new department. I wanted to show the residents how much we spend on really animal control. That was kind of the main focus in at least last legislative session. But last year was conversations about what we were spending on animal control. Were we really investing in animal control services or animal care services? I shouldn't say really control services, and what that really looked like. So this is really kind of, I would say a stab in the dark, but your personnel cost or a hard cost. You do have 2 employees sitting over there, and that includes all their benefits. And then the supplies, we're estimating, 1,000, and then in office supplies, here's the breakdown of what that looks like. In your operating supplies, it's your dog food, your computer equipment, your trash, your trash bag, just regular equipment, paint, stuff of that nature, their gas for their vehicle, any vet cost. We do still need some boarding cost available, just in case we get overrun in our current holding facility. I do have 1 radio sitting over there and a camera, or 2 cameras. So this is what I'm looking at for code and animal control for next year.
Do we still have Austin's Pets Alive?
So yeah, so you
Because
have,
I know
so
they
well,
were-
San Antonio Pets, so we have so many. We have Austin's Pets Alive, San Antonio Pets Alive, we still use Petland. I went over that in the retreat. We're also working out a deal, hopefully with the Humane Society. Mr. Salinas has reached out to Charming Pets, which was a recommendation by a former council member. So we're reaching out to them. So any of the rescues that we can use, we also use a pit bull rescue that I can't think of the name off the top of my head. So we do have other rescues that we use. The San Antonio Pets Alive we put in there because essentially they will take pretty much any dog we can't adopt out, especially for overrun, and they would take a total cost of $10,000. Now we're paying per dog. So if they don't use, it's like $400 per dog. So if we don't get there, we're not going to spend all $10,000, but we put in $10,000 roughly.
Okay. Yes, Counselor Mert.
Can you talk about that Tiger Sanitation rollaway for cleanup event?
Yeah, so we, for either Earthwise Living or we try to do a cleanup initiative where you can come dump your trash or like excessive bulk or something. And so it was an idea of, because we can't afford $40,000 to do household hazardous waste. So it was like other than what would go in household hazardous waste. So that would be like 2 roll-offs is what we were thinking as kind of like a supplement to because that came up at one of the budget conversations. A gentleman came up and asked about household hazardous waste, and we said we couldn't afford to do it again. And so that was just kind of.
And are we going to get to it? But that was a good point about at the coffee, we learned that we had in the budget, which I hadn't seen, $89,000?
In your stormwater budget,
In our
not in your
storm,
general.
okay, so we
Yes.
get there, we
Yes,
can
ma'am.
talk about that.
Yes, ma'am.
To pick up the
Excessive
brush that.
brush or
that's
bulk that is left
Over
over.
8 by 8 by 8.
Yes,
So,
ma'am.
okay,
But
we'll
that's
talk
in your,
about that
that
then.
is in your, or
Stormwater.
dedicated
Okay,
stormwater. Yes,
thank
ma'am.
you. I knew it was there someplace.
This is your special events. This is the 23,000 for your 2 events for next year, which is Earthwise Living and Christmas tree lighting. I know there's been some conversation about the 4th of July. The current 4th of July runs you $180,000. So that is roughly, every penny is roughly $100,000 in revenue. So you would need to increase your tax rate by 2 additional pennies to cover the 4th of July, or cut from somewhere else. And I provided y'all so much detail in the budget, and there's more detail than what I'm presenting. Y'all have the additional detail. I mean, I broke it down even more for y'all. So you can provide me feedback. If you want to include that in your budget, then where else would you like me to cut to make that happen? Or the compromise that I have for you to do the 4th of July that you could sustain for 1 more year. So if you want to end it with like a 250 high Independence Day hurrah and kind of end on a good note, is you can do a one-time withdraw from your EDC reserve fund and cover the event 1 more time as like the end of the 250 Independence Day as a one-time expenditure. If you continue to do it that way, you will run out of reserve funds from your ED fund. So you cannot continue to fund the event that way. But if you do it as a one-time last hurrah thing, you can fund it out of your reserve fund. Or a version of it. So if you wanted to just shoot off the fireworks, we're required by our insurance company to still have fencing around the fireworks. So when I say fencing, I don't mean around the whole park, but you have to fence off your fireworks. You would still need porta potties because you don't want people using the restroom, and you believe that people wouldn't do that, but they do. So you still need porta potties there. You would still need police because I would assume people are still going to bring their alcohol to watch the fireworks. And then you're still required to have your fire department there, and they need a minimum of 6 for your fireworks, especially on a dry year. So you would probably need about $75,000 to do just the fireworks. So no vendors, no parade, just the fireworks, fencing, porta potties, police, fire. I could probably squeeze a DJ in that amount. Is kind of, if that's something y'all want to consider. So I'm trying to provide y'all options. I hear the 4th of July is big for this community. I know that they love it. I know that's been a hot topic of conversation. But you cannot continue. I want to make it very, very clear on the record. You cannot continue to fund your 4th of July out of reserve fund dollars. And so it would be a one-time thing, or you figure out how to do that in your next budget cycle under your operating expenses. So I just wanted to bring that up while we were on special events. So You can provide me direction. Again, we cut all the other special events, so there's no other special events. Parks and recreations. So you see no salaries, but we do have personnel. They just live on the public works side of things for consistency purposes. This is the breakdown. You can see we've cut everywhere, kept everything pretty much the same. Janitorial supplies, parks maintenance, fuel, the court nets. Everything we've kept status quo. We have eliminated anything that wasn't tied to anything. So we don't have playground really maintenance down here, but I have park maintenance up here. So if anything goes wrong, it would be held in this $5,000 line item. We don't really have pool maintenance in here, but we do have the pool contract. You are in your, you'll see in the upcoming capital, you do have the replastering of the pool in here. Again, Parks and Rec, we have 5,000. I did cut engineering services for your Parks Department. I've cut your, or I've kept everything pretty much the same. Your pool contract is going up a little bit to fund the Forest Oaks pool. This is just their percentage of the hardware, of the software that we use for Public Works. And then this is the capital. So we're looking at funding the Hike and Bike Trail Segment 2, which is $2.1 million. Just remember 1.2 of that is grant funded. Your lawnmower, one merry-go-round, your Veterans Park Monument, and then your replastering of your pool, which is $75,000.
We did talk I think it was in our retreat, that 24,000, is that flexible? It could go down?
Correct. So nobody gave me, so we
On the
didn't have.
veterans.
Right,
on the
so I
veterans
didn't
part.
have clear, I've left it that way because
Okay.
I haven't received clear direction. I heard reduce it by 15, I heard reduce it by 5, I heard don't do it at all. So I've left it in there so you can have the
I
discussion.
thought, Mr. Roscoe, you were going to talk to the American Legion if they could contribute to the monument. I thought that was what our discussion was.
I did, and at this time, they don't have the monies to contribute.
Okay.
But that's not our only source. We looked at Bear counties, they also provide funds for things like this in the county. I'm waiting for their budget, but their budget is also in deficit, just like San Antonio. We're waiting for to do their budget, then I'm gonna talk to Peter Sakai, and I'm gonna talk to Commissioner Tommy Calvert to see if there's anything that they can contribute along with this $24,000. But I know there's always a question about Veterans Memorial. That, they always say that, well, we got the bridge right there in Evers, but that's not. I mean, you're going 30 miles an hour. You never really get to see it, and we really don't have anything in Leon Valley that honors our veterans, our men and women that put themselves in line for us to be here today, for the men and women that died for us to be able to be here today, for the men and women that are living, that have gone through this, to go to war, so we be able to have that. They have seen so much blood, so much fight, so much despair to last them 2 lifetimes. And I don't think $24,000 is nothing compared to what they gave us for us to have the United States of America and for us to be here today. So I'd like to keep it at $24,000. I'm going to continue working on it. We've been working on this since COVID. And I'm not going to stop the fight to get one.
Okay, yeah. I just was curious how what your outreach was.
Yeah,
because we were trying to,
they're in a budget too.
Yeah, but thank you for that.
but-
I appreciate the update because we hadn't gotten it yet. So thank you. Yes, Counselor Compost.
So I agree with what you're saying, Councilor Roscoe. But just to remind everybody, even if you were to lower that amount, this is a capital item. So this does not affect our deficit, okay? Nor the rate that we're talking about. The tax
All it
rate.
does is affect that first number that I gave you on the first slide, with that 5.6 million. So if you.
It's coming out of that fund.
Correct.
Mhm. Right. Okay, thank you.
So I'm not hearing anything from anybody to remove it or leave it, so I'm just, for right now, I'm just gonna leave it.
Just, please, do I need to do a vote on this?
No, I mean,
This is
this is preliminary discussion, but
right.
I've left it in because I haven't received any
I-
other direction or.
I'd like to believe that my colleagues here have the same sentiment as I do about our veterans, and I'd like to leave it at 24,000.
Okay.
I agree.
Okay.
Moving on to the library, this is your library. So I would like to note, at our last budget discussion, the question came up about increasing the library's material back to 30,000. So the original one had 20,000 in the library material, and so we did increase it back up to 30,000, and that came from the developer. So we took the 10,000 that he provided and we put it here in the library. The other 5,000 went to fund the book, this touch to play computer. So it will fund probably about 2, maybe 3 of those. And then we increased their money for library materials. And so their budget did take some cuts on the circulation desk and stuff we bought last year. I did cut some program funding, so we're not funding yoga next year. So they did still have cuts, but they are still coming out way better than when we started. So, and so I'd like 15,000 came from the developer. This is the actual breakdown of the library, and this is how their monies are actually spent. Again, the big hit, or not the big hit, but the largest increase is on their copier service agreement. It's just gone up. They've had the same agreement for quite some time, and it just finally came to an end, and it just went up in cost. Everything else has pretty much stayed the same. Some slight increases on a couple of things, but everything else is pretty much the same.
Okay, so let me just stop and make sure that there's no other questions from either the council or our citizens on the general fund before we go to the enterprise fund, which is the water.
Yeah, and I encourage the council and the residents, while we're here, or if you're at home watching, if there's anything that you see on the expenditure side that you think that the residents no longer have a will to have, or that they want to cut, please reach out to your council members, reach out to me. And, if you're trying to help maintain the taxes or you have questions on any of the expenditures, we carry on until we're told differently. So if there's not a need for a merry-go-round or emphasis on parks or cutting or whatever the situation is, if you let us know so we can remove those items from the budget.
All right, I had a hand up. Mr. Martinez, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mayor.
You up.
I foresee that this budget is a very dangerous budget. I know by law the city manager has to come up with a balanced budget, and she has done what she could to cut. And there's only so much you can cut. I foresee with this budget, every month we're going to be back here with a budget adjustment. We need money for this project. We need this broke. We need money for this. We need money for this. So nothing is taken. It's bare. We have a bare bone budget this year. This is bare bone budget times 10. So it is a severe cut in what we need for the city. And I know I don't propose it, but the only way we can raise money is to raise the tax rate. And I hate to say that, but, the budget is the budget. And we, without continuing going back and forth, we're going to have to do something different. And I support, like I've said in the past, I support the 4th of July. And there's no reason the 4th of July can't be a moneymaker. I say that the council really needs to direct the city manager to hire an event planner and let them run with it, and give them, let's say, give them a base figure of $50,000, and then and they're supposed to bring in, let's say, $200,000, and anything above that they get a percentage. There's different tactics that you can use to entice a company to make the event even bigger. We cut the parade. People wanted the parade. People, look at all the people that were at the 4th of July buying food and stuff. People want that. So let's make the 4th of July even bigger next year. And, we really have to take a hard look at the budget and figure out ways we can increase our budget without coming back. And every time we come back for a budget adjustment, we're attacking the reserve fund.
Okay.
The money can only come from someplace.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. I know, Dr. Cordero, this is not the first time Mr. Martinez has,
Right.
and your response to that
Is we've been there,
was-
done that. We've been there and done that. We've hired at least 3 event planners. It still requires an immense amount of city resources, if not more. We went out for RFPs. Nobody will touch us unless we completely fence the park, which the council doesn't want to do, because you have to control entry and exit, because they don't want to allow people to bring in food, drinks, and water, because they need the vendors to pay the higher cost to come in. Vendors aren't going to pay the higher cost if you're allowed to bring in your own food and drinks, and the council did not want to do that. So that was, about 4 years ago, we went out for an RFP. I will go out for another RFP to kind of settle that argument, but it's not going to impact your budget right now or in the next couple of months. But you can't, when we were at CPS Energy, me and Mrs. Heil, I stopped to talk to the Helotus because I said, do y'all make money off of your carnival? I cannot find an event that makes millions of dollars for a city. The only one I know of is Fiesta that has a revenue line item of about 320 million. But I'm sure they spend that in expenditures, and there's a lot of nonprofits and stuff that pay for their own security. Their 5K is paid on their own. They're not funding that out of city funds. And so, again, it's kind of one of those things of, I don't think that this can be the money you also have a cap on the amount of people that can be in the park. And so, it's my opinion that it really couldn't be done unless you charge for that event, like you charge for people to come in, and that wasn't something that the council wanted. But I'll go out for an RFP to kind of just settle that argument, and just see what we get in, what that looks like. Last time, they didn't want to touch our event unless we were willing to do those things. So, but we'll investigate it.
Okay.
Moving on to the enterprise fund, your budget is balanced on your water side. Oops. Ooh, sorry. Transfer out for debt is 106. Your personnel services is about 1.3, and your capital is 1.4. Your sewer cells is the majority of your revenue at 2.6. Your water is sitting at 2 million. The majority is spent on contractual services. Again, your expenses is more on your sewer side. This is a summary of all of your water, sewer, and your stormwater, and your ending fund balance is sitting at about 3 mil. We try to break down the expenses per section, so this is your water fund expenses on your water side. This is the breakdown of those expenses. This does not affect your tax rate. So this is a completely separate fund, but these are all the expenditures that are here. You can see we've reduced a lot of them, but we do have some costs that have just gone up. New meters have just gone up in cost. Replacement of curb stops and mains and, sewers, the things that sewer main tops have also gone up. We did try to reduce on your replacement of your fire hydrants and connectors, and that's not because they went down, it's just because we can't get to them. Just unplanned supplies, I did reduce it because it wasn't tied to anything by 8,000. We kept a little bit of the rebate in there. The one thing that's not in here, I don't think it is, no. There is a small portion. We're going to be trying, it's called Doppler. And essentially what Doppler does is it helps notify your residents when there's an outage. Right now for your disconnects, my 4-man water crew, and right now I'm down 1, so I have a 3-man. It takes them over a day and a half to put the door hangers on the door. And so with the amount of stuff that we have going on with the new meters coming in, new homes coming in, I can't afford to have them, nobody leaves door hangers anymore. So we're going to be looking at Doppler. Doppler will, kind of what you get for those of you on SAW when you get the call from, that's what Doppler will be on our utility side. So we will be trying that. It will begin this year. It is part of our software package that we have in this year's budget. And so it will also be included in next year. A portion of it will be included. It's like 2 months. So it's a little less than, I think, $250 or something. So I don't see it in there, but it's in one of those. So I did want to bring that up because me and Melinda were talking about it earlier. On your capital side of things, we have 500 for your water rights and, 500 for your water mains and 143 for your water rights. Your sewer expenses, this is a breakdown of your sewer expenses. For the most part, we brought everything down. Your sewer department, again, these are just pretty much, what I did was move over some of the softwares that their portion of it was. We just moved it over here. Citywide water or sewer mains, 500,000. This is your stormwater expense breakdown. And here is their portion of tech lead, which is our computer stuff, debris removal and street sweeping, repairs to drainage systems is gone. We need a couple of repairs that we need to do. Your flood control stuff. And then the big one here, Mayor, is what we were talking about earlier, which
right.
was the brush removal truck. But we do need the backhoe and the wood chipper. And so the conversation, I guess that y'all want to start is whether or not you want to continue. So a few years ago, Tiger Sanitation was marking all of those that put more than 8x8 out for brush or bulk pickup. We had a conversation with Tiger. The idea was they were super nitpicky about the 8x8. And they've supposedly have gotten better on that. However, if the resident isn't currently paying the additional cost to have Tiger come and do the additional debris removal, the city is going back behind them and picking up that additional debris. So at the coffee, it was brought up whether or not we should continue to do that or not. That was an initiative taken on by the previous council. If we're going to continue that, we're asking for the correct equipment to be able to do that. We originally started off with a handful of homes.
Okay,
It continues
so-
to increase every year.
Okay, that's where I didn't connect the dots. It was a truck that was the cost, not the actual
Correct.
fee. Okay, very good, thank you.
And-
Yes, Counselor.
And when it comes down to the part where we can put something in the next agenda, I'm going to put that on there as far as charging for the pickup that we have to do. I did some research on it. I didn't send the email. Councilman Campos selected to do the second, but I'll talk more about it when it gets to that part. Okay, and I'm going to be bringing that up.
Okay, so we can okay, so that'll be on the next agenda.
I'm going to leave the truck in there for now until y'all have the discussion.
Okay, very good. Did you have something else to add, Counselor Campos?
So this is also, this equipment can be used to clear the creek
Yes.
for our
Yes,
stormwater
yes,
runoff.
yes,
And that was,
thank you.
that originally, this money was originally in the general reserve that we were going to charge that. And we moved it to stormwater because we felt like that would be a better place because we're clearing out some of the dead trees and debris that goes down to, in the stormwater. So
Okay, thank you.
This is your red light camera budget. This is the one that, as you can see, the amount of dollars are going down in your red light camera fund. It looks like we're not going to hit our mark for this year, so that amount will come out of the reserved fund balance for red light camera. And so that will bring your total ending fund balance after next year's budget to $121,000. Again, it's just the amount of fines and fees coming in have been reduced. Your red light camera expenditures, we try to do our best to pay for anything, red light camera related and or traffic safety related. These are the things that we purchase out of your red light cameras, your fuel, here's a portion of your ammunition. They pay for the portion of the attorney's fees, the IT stuff, anything to do with the high-speed internet. That may actually come down. We finally got Google Fiber in the building.
I was just going to ask you, have we spent the $15,000 on attorney fees and red light camera?
So what we do is we get the bill and we just divide it over.
Oh, okay, so it's, okay, very good. Yes, sir, if you'll, yes, oh, excuse me, if you'll please come to the podium.
How many years are left on the red light camera contract? 2037.
2037.
Unless at some point, let me go back. At some point, we cannot pay for this, $798,000. So if at some point this revenue dollar slips to $798,000, that would end your contract.
Okay, yes, Counselor Campos.
And I just want to clarify for the audience here and watching online, is that there are 6 police officers?
Well, it's more, and I'll show you that at the end of the,
Okay.
I'll get there to
Okay.
kind of tie this together. But yes, you would have to come up with quite a bit of money out of your general fund, or you cut all of those positions. I mean, those would be
Well,
your options.
2 are administrative, so, for
Right,
red light
but-
cameras.
Right, so 2 would go
4
away.
are actual police officers, correct?
No, we'll get there. Let me
All
just
right,
get
that's
there
what
so
I
I can
thought.
break that down. Yeah, no, hold on. Sorry, lost my train of thought there.
Sorry about
No, my fault. I just trying to figure out. Okay, so the other part of your red light camera is anything to do with traffic safety. Here's your breakdown on your traffic safety. And so here is your patrol vehicles. We pay for like all of their accessories, lights, cones, barricades, anything to kind of do with traffic flares. This is the other portion of ammunition, radar equipment, anything kind of dealing with traffic will come out of this portion of the red light camera fund. And then I'm going to skip ahead so I can kind of tie in your question and we'll go back to the rest of the slides. It's my, oops. So here, oh, you're not gonna be able to see it. But in your red light camera, sorry guys. So in your red light camera, you pay 100% of your municipal court. So you pay for 2 people
Oh,
100%.
municipal court, yeah, I
So you'd
forgot
have to
about
come up
them.
with 2 100%. The other ones are 20%. You'd have to come up with 20% for your receptionist, 20% for your finance director, 20% for your assistant finance director. You'd have to come up with 20% for your assistant police chief, your police chief. You'd have to come up with 100% for 2 officers. You'd have to come up with 100% for 4 of the officers over here, and you're correct. 2 of these officers over here would just go away because they're your red light camera hearing officers. So it is all of these, so 4, 5, 6 officers, and 2 100% of your municipal court people, and then the percentage of everybody else's salary. And those aren't people, you can't cut your finance director. So, I mean, just, that's what you're funding out of there. So when we talk about, oh, we want red light cameras to go away, they're going away, but you're gonna have to figure out a way to cover a majority of those positions.
Yeah, could you give us a dollar amount to what that,
I did.
I know, but
Hold
not
on,
right now,
it's here.
but, yeah.
It's, I mean, it's in your, that's what we're going over. So, hold on, let me get back up there. Sorry, I skipped so far ahead. Your expenditures. So, you'll be paying the 705 as well as your transfer of your services. Hold on, where did that go? The 213. And then on your very first slide where it says transfers in for personnel, that 1.2, 1.3?
Go back one more.
There?
No, go back.
Back. One more. Oh, there it is. Shared, that one. That one, 286. So it's the 286.
That's 286?
Yep. So if you add those 3 numbers that I give you,
Yeah, that's,
I will give it to you. It's
Yeah.
286.
yeah,
I will email-
213 and 705.
Yes, there you go.
Yeah, gotcha. Okay, thank you, I got it. Yes. Who is, I'm sorry, yes, Mr. Barrera. Please come to the podium because we're recording it and then people that are looking at it online can hear you as well. Thank you.
Well, I've got a question for you all. How were we operating before the red light cameras? We were doing very well. I don't remember hearing all this scuttlebutt about money, not having this, not having that. Now, we're gonna have to get rid of officers and whatever. We didn't get rid of any before. How were we doing it before? And how was that person able to manage this city so well? There were
right.
4 managers and stuff that I know of that did pretty good, except of one that robbed us. But the others were doing pretty good. Red light cameras, I was on the board when it came up. Not everybody voted for it. People that were up here voted for it. Y'all wanted it.
Well, when the red light camera,
I know
when
some of
the,
you weren't here.
Yeah.
But some of those that you were here, you voted for it. You wanted it because you saw the money. Okay, fine. But the money gradually is going away. So.
oh yeah, you can see that.
Either we're not working the numbers right, or there's something going on.
Okay, let me ask Dr. Caldera.
We need to look at our
we-
numbers and see just what is it that we were capable of doing it before.
Yeah,
Why can't we do it today?
Absolutely. You had 25 officers in 2017.
Okay,
You have 41 now. There you go.
Because of the red light cameras.
Correct.
then why do we need exercise equipment?
Y'all
I
built
saw a
the-
while ago, I
Yeah.
said, be honest with you, I don't see them on the road.
Okay.
I don't.
Again, if you don't want to fund the treadmill, if you don't want to keep up the gym, when y'all built this building, y'all built the police officers a gym. And it was supposed to be a city to keep, it was really supposed to be used by both the fire department and the police department. If you go to any city facility, there is some sort of gym in one of those city facilities. We want your officers and your fire department to stay in shape. If you don't want to continue to fund that, we can take out all the gym equipment, throw some desks in there, extend your property room. I mean, again, I'm not opposed to anything y'all want to do. I just need a recommendation to be able to do it. But in most cities, there is a workout facility, as the Bond Oversight Committee saw when they built this building.
I have a question.
And we have showers, we've already built it, so we need to probably keep
Thank you,
it up.
Mayor.
Yes, go ahead, Mr.
Dr. Caldera, you
Orozco.
had indicated to the gentleman back there that the red light camera leaves in 2037.
Yes, sir.
How many homes that are being built right now, or I guess you can guesstimate, but how many houses do you think will be built by 2037?
Not
in
enough
order-
to cover the deficit.
No, okay, and that's where I was going with that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No, thank you. You're welcome.
Yes, Counselor Campos.
So back years ago when there was a smaller force, is it true that back then there wasn't so many unfunded mandates on what you have to do for police procedures?
Yeah.
So you have things like, now we've got to take everybody to the Bear County Jail and stay with them. Tell us some of the things that have happened, plus there's additional reporting
Right.
that is being required by the state, training from the state, that has affected everything. The other thing is, if I'm not mistaken, back in the days when we had 20 police officers, we're chasing down goats and stuff like that, where that's not the case anymore. We've got crime coming around the city in a pretty high manner, if that's my understanding. And if I'm wrong, please clarify that.
No, so a lot of things have changed over the years. And so when you were operating with 25 officers, you were doing, I hate to say this, but a lot of times you were doing it unsafely. Mandates have required us for domestic violence. You're required to have 2 officers show up on scene. Sometimes we were showing up with 1 officer on scene, which is unsafe for the officer. There's a lot of things that have changed over the years. Your call volume has almost tripled. So, I know a lot of people think that, have quandaries about Mr. Savaggio and when he was here. But one of the things that I do think that he did well was assess the needs of the city and the department and the increase of police personnel that was needed in order to properly patrol the city. Now, I say that, and you've been running about 4 short in the police department on average. It's not the same for police officers, but you're averaging about 4 vacancies in the police department. So you have to look at it from the perspective of, okay, you have these officers on duty. With those 41 officers, 2 of them are red light cameras. You've got 6 people that are your chief, assistant chief. They're not patrolling. They're on the other side of the fence. Because you have so many things. We have to report for missing child within 24 hours. There's just so many reporting requirements now that didn't exist even 5 years ago. You have to report national stuff. You have to report state stuff. There's just a lot of different things. And the dynamics have changed in your community. You are completely surrounded by the city of San Antonio. And crime is going up. You have property crime going up, you have ODs going up, you have 3 apartment complexes that have gone up. The call volume on those apartment complexes are high. I mean, there's just a lot of different things that have come up over the years. And so I wouldn't recommend reducing your police force. But again, I mean, if you get rid of your red light cameras, I don't know if you could take the hit and move them all into your general fund. And so I have been telling y'all since I got on and doing each of your budgets, you should start taking a look at moving 1 officer a year over into your general fund. And so we have moved some of those percentages used to be 25%, 30%. We've been slowly dropping those percentages a little bit, but you're really going to have to take a look more seriously at least over the next couple of years of what that looks like for y'all.
Okay, thank you.
So your ARPA, we still have to include it. It is your $265,000 remaining for your ambulance. Crime control prevention, you will see this budget at the next meeting. It is a balanced budget. You do have a little bit of a surplus there, and so we can move a little bit of money probably from the general fund to make up that surplus if you needed to. 50%, of the assistant police chief is paid out of there, 1 patrol officer and 1 sergeant. Your crime control district is, your expenditures are here. Again, it is just really your salaries, your operating expenses of $4,200, your contractual of $13,000.
Back on the crime control.
Sure.
There's a fund balance of $821,000. I thought you said that some of that could possibly be used to cover the cost of the police radios.
Correct. So,
So we do have some money there. I just want.
yes. So
mean,
I
it's
wouldn't
not like
take,
we-
I wouldn't take it all.
No, I understand, but
yes.
that's a resource that we need to
Correct.
recognize that we can fund police
Yes,
radios
you,
out
you
of.
could take a portion of that out of the resource.
Yes. Counselor Campos.
So my understanding is you're correct that we can use it for police radios, but fire radios, we're going to need that, and that cannot come out of this fund.
Correct.
Okay, but that's a
Yes.
resource.
Yeah, absolutely. But you do have police vehicles and stuff too that still need to be purchased too as well, so.
And then does Bear County have a distinction between police and fire radios as far as helping us to fund
No.
that? Okay, so.
Not that
and-
I'm aware of.
And
The
they
last
helped
time-
us fund these radios a couple, I don't know when that was.
Yeah,
So we
it was
did-
when former Chief Savaggio was here, they did help with a portion, a good chunk of it.
Yeah.
But we did have to come up with a lot. I mean, I don't remember what the dollar amount was, but we
Okay.
did have to come up with a portion.
But that's another resource. is
Correct.
our
And I
county- is
don't
our
think we'll be the only suburban
Yeah.
city that will be requesting assistance either.
Right.
Your community and conference center fund, your operating revenue is 168, your operating expenditures is 165. We pay for Miss Miranda out of here. Your expenditures are just supplies and regular upkeep of the building. Your contractual services is mainly for your upkeep. It is your, hold on, I'll put your breakdown here. Your cleaning, your miscellaneous window cleaning, the solar cleaning, toilet repairs, just miscellaneous repairs for upholding both of the community and conference center. The big thing here is on your utility side, your water, your electric. So you do fund for the seniors to be in their facility 5 days a week. So the AC, the heat, the lights, 5 days a week. Your street maintenance fund, this one, we gain it on, we always budget it all. We try to get to as many street maintenance type projects throughout the year, and sometimes we do and sometimes we don't. But that is all your slurry seal projects, and it's street maintenance only, it's not for new construction. Your special revenues, these are what I call the smaller funds. It is your LEOS fund, which can only be used for police officer training, building security, child safety, municipal court technology, and your debt service. This was the breakdown. Somebody asked me for how are all the employees split by fund. That's this. I know it's hard to read. I will email this. Well, I've emailed it to you before, but I'll re-email it to y'all in the next city manager's report. So this budget funds 117 positions. It doesn't include the school crossing guard, and we have one library aide that works 7 hours a week. This does include the salary adjustments. It covers longevity pay. Longevity pay is required by state law to pay. We have to pay longevity pay to police and fire. And it's normally paid in November.
But we pay it for all of the employees.
But we do pay for all
Yeah.
the employees. But I
And
just want to
it's-
make it a note
Yeah,
that
but
it's
it's
required.
like a certain amount of money
Per year.
per month of service or
Service,
something,
yes,
yeah,
ma'am.
so,
Absolutely.
yeah.
It does fund 100% of the employee medical coverage. We cover zero, well, we don't cover anything for their dependent care coverage. They cover their dependent care coverage. And the retirement is funded for this year. Oops. We will close the day before Christmas Eve and reopen on January the 2nd. The employees will have to use 2 PTO days in order to accomplish that. The next public hearing for your crime control is August the 19th. Your budget hearing for the actual adoption of the budget is planned for September the 2nd. Your call for your public hearing will also be for September the 2nd for your tax rate. That concludes my budget presentation. There is some question about adding Juneteenth, whether or not y'all wanted to do that. I did bring it up at the coffee. Heard two, yes, no. So that question still has to be answered.
How does that impact the budget?
You pay, so it depends. If you add it onto your budget, then it is double time for that holiday. And so for your police and fire that work that day, you would be paying double time. So probably about another additional 10 to 15,000.
Okay. Okay, what do y'all think? Yes, Counselor Campos.
Rather than giving a date certain, what would be the impact if we gave another floating holiday?
So the floating holiday always comes up. It is too complicated to keep because you basically have to fund it in their hours and it's kind of weird from the technical standpoint. You fund it in hours and in code, and then if they don't use it, whether or not you're going to pay it out or not. And so in the past, when we've done we've attempted to do floating holidays, some people, because like fire works 48 hours, so are you going to fund a 48-hour day, a 24-hour day? Some police work 12-hour shifts. Are you funding 12 hours? Or are you just funding 8? Some staff work 10 hours. Are you giving them 10 hours? Or are you giving them 8? So then some staff are like, well, I only work an 8-hour day, but they get 10 hours. Why do they get 10 hours for a holiday and I only get 8? So it became a little bit complicated when it came to the floating holiday. So again, the staff always request it because on June, as you know, we're one of the only cities that is open on June 19th. But it does add to your budget. Maybe this isn't the year to consider it.
Could the employees take a choice between like,
We've discussed that too, but then it's
Oh.
who keeps track of that.
okay.
So
Like Fiesta, I know we gave that recently, we just
Correct.
added Fiesta, so Fiesta
we don't pay
versus
double
Juneteenth.
time for Fiesta holiday. It's not a double time holiday. We only pay double time on the federally designated
Okay, so Juneteenth
holidays.
would be federal, so that's double.
Correct.
Okay, all right. Yes, Counselor Heil.
How many federal holidays are they
I
paid?
gave it to y'all at the coffee. I want to say it was 11.
I don't remember.
I
Thank you,
think it,
though.
I think it was 11.
Okay, thanks.
But I will double check and send that to you.
All right.
But again, we don't have to have the discussion.
We don't have
this
to,
evening.
we don't have to make the decision today, so, okay, let's see how this all shakes
Again,
out.
any other questions on the budget? Any other questions on expenditures?
Yes, Counselor Mers.
Any decision on 4th of
Why
July?
is that part-time library aide not included in the budget? I'm confused.
No, it's in the budget. The dollars are in the budget, but when I count the 117, when I tell you it's 117, I don't count her towards the 107. Like, I'm not counting the 7-hour work. Yes, and it would be like 117 point, because the school crossing guard too only works so many, it's like 100 hours out of the year.
The employee count that she's
It's included in there. But her dollars are included. And they've been asking for that to be a real part-time employee for a really long time. It's one of those weird things that had happened a really long time ago that
She's
we've
been here
never-
a long time.
that we've never fixed.
yeah.
Or it needs to be at least minimum 20 hours a week. It does kind of, but.
All right. Okay, yes, Counselor Campos. I mean, I don't think we can go ahead. I'll just,
One other comment that I had,
Yeah.
that this budget does not address any of the recommendations from our Fitch report
At all,
that,
yes.
that says that we need additional fire personnel as well as police personnel. So just keep that in mind, as we get, what I heard at the CPAC meeting, the more people we have, the more the call volume's going to go up. Chief, did I hear that correctly? Councilor Orozco, that was one of the main points that I heard during that meeting, that no matter what, that's going to go up. So we're going to need personnel, we're going to need additional police cars, maybe another ambulance and so forth. But that's not here yet, and that's something that we need to plan for as we move forward.
and that's a tax increase. That's basically a tax increase.
So that's the conversation that's really the only, because we're not planning on voting on the budget the next time. We'll be going over the budget, but I need to post the notice on the tax rate. So, because I have to post it 14 days before. So y'all will be voting potentially on the tax rate on September the 2nd. So this evening, I need some direction from y'all in order to post that notice, what you're looking at your tax rate to be. So if you're looking at the no new revenue rate, if you're looking at the 0.48, I need some direction to be able to start posting those notices.
Well, the .50 doesn't even get us to a balanced budget. You were saying .51,
0.51,
I think, yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
So that's
Well,
just,
But, I mean, again, you can say, Crystal, we cut a public works you direct the $47,000 deficit. I mean, I can go through the budget again and
I think we
try to
pretty
see
well,
whatever
I think we
else.
pretty well cut it as far as we can. I personally, I just,
380,000 for you.
yeah. And 4th of July, I'm not sure. Yes, Counselor Mersch.
Well, if you look at the tax rate history and the significant cut that happened, even if we go up to 0.52, we still aren't back where we were in 2021, right, where we were at 0.535. So I agree with Mr. Martinez that this is a very scary budget, that we're not leaving ourselves anything to handle the day-to-day emergencies that are going to happen in a city, whether it's a maintenance issue or whether it's getting something, fixed that you didn't count on breaking or whatever. I think that we really have to seriously look at going above our no new tax rate to safely fund our city for the next fiscal year.
Okay. And does anyone else feel that way? Let me hear from the other counselors. I don't think we can do .48. That's a 1 point whatever. We started out at a $1.3 million deficit, so that's at .48. So I know we can't go back there, but .50, we still are 47,000 in the hole. So, yes, Counselor Campos, but I think everybody needs to try to weigh in. So, okay. I know, Counselor Heil.
If it is .51, where does that leave us?
So you will be so based on this current budget with no 4th of July or any conversation, there's one other thing I wanted to have a conversation with y'all about in just a second, but it would give you 9,156 in the good at .51.
9,051?
No, $9,156.
156 in the good, so
good.
plus.
I think my concern is, we've asked the citizens for a lot of money this year. Tiger has gone up, water has gone up.
Tiger did not go up for the residents. Tiger went up for the business side. Tiger did not go up for the resident. Now, it went up in CPI, but the rate that the committee voted on did not go up. It doubled for the business side, but
Charging me more.
yeah, the CPI went up, which is the 2%. But, I mean, you're, in
That's going to
comparison-
be every year.
Correct.
Yeah.
And comparison to, so I just want to make this clear, the RFPs that came in, your trash would have gone up substantially if we went with another service provider. So y'all had a whole Solid Waste Committee, and we decided to stay with Tiger because they came in at the same rate with the CPI increase, not a complete new rate increase plus the CPI over. So I just want to make that
Right.
clear.
Okay, go ahead, Ms. Hall, I know you're
But they were
concerned.
increases. And I know there's a lot of young, plus groceries have gone up. Families are having a tough time right now. They really are out there. And, you know, they're either losing their jobs or they're not getting raises. And so I think we need to tighten our belt too, even though we want more money. I think we have to be careful. That's my opinion.
Plus, we're implementing a rate increase on the water and sewer October 1st. That's
Right.
another, I think you and I talked about that. Ms. Bolton, what do you think?
Well, it's kind of a double-edged sword. I mean, I agree, we have to do something to prevent, because things are going to happen. It just does. And, you know, water mains are going to break. Things that we were not expecting are going to happen. But I agree with Ms. Heil. It's rough out there. I mean, I work 2 jobs, and groceries have gotten ridiculous. I mean, it really has. With the water increase coming up too, $46 is not that bad, but to some people, it's probably going to be devastating. I mean, I worry. It seems like there needs to be a happy medium that we can try to get to the 47,000, but maybe not be 9,000 in the black.
Okay,
I don't know if it's even possible.
okay. Councilor Orozco.
Thank you, Mayor. The last thing I want to do is charge myself more money, but, and like you, I'm retired, but I still have a job to make ends meet. And the extra $45 that Dr. Cardetta had mentioned, I think that's okay. I hate to give myself having to pay more for my taxes, but it's just not about myself, it's about the city of Leon Valley. It's us making sure that we have enough police, fire, and whatever emergencies needs that they need. And if I have to pay $45 more to $65 more a year, I really don't have much of a choice, and I'm willing to do that. So I know Councilor Murch indicated that it was at 5.3, what year was that?
That was in 2021, 0.53.
2021, and I remember that. And I'm okay with going, and I'm gonna leave it to Councilor Campos, he's our numbers guy. And if anybody knows more about how we can make this work, it's him. I'm okay with having to go with 5.2, maybe 5.3, I don't know, to make ends meet for the city of Leon Valley.
Okay, but the minimum is what I heard the manager say is .51095. We get $9,000 isn't that much
And then-
extra, but.
Correct.
you
And
know.
so with that 9,000, like, and that was the closest I could get. I mean, we were playing with the numbers, Carol, really more Carol than me, but to get closer to being a wash, right, as close as we could. But I know at the coffee, one of the major concerns was going door to door for an emergency event. And so we did take a look at, looking at what that would cost from a notification standpoint. So there's companies out there that do what's called a geofence notification, which means that also not only protects your residents, it protects your transit population, which is everybody on Bandera Road, everybody on Evers Road. So for those of you that don't know, in the flood in Kendall County, they didn't have a resident die. It was travelers. It was people that were going into the community that weren't necessarily residents of the community. This geofencing technology would allow us to send out a notification, and the way that I would like to handle that notification would be we would only use it for serious, like tornadoes in the midst, flooding. So then that way you don't become censored, or not censored, yeah, I guess.
Desensitized, yeah.
There you go, thank you. I was searching for the word in my mind. Desensitized to those alerts. Because you see the Amber Alert, they're not even for here, you turn it off, you don't pay attention to it, making it a little bit more custom to where we would pay $6,500 a year and we could send out the notification and we could geofence just Leon Valley and give the flood warning to everybody that was in that geofence location.
And how much is that?
$6,500.
Oh,
And so-
$6,500.
So
Okay.
it would be $6,500 a year to be able to do that.
Okay.
And it would be an operating expense because it would be an ongoing cost.
Okay,
It wouldn't
so-
be
That That
capital item.
9,000 would cover that.
But you also
Gotcha.
had like other things that y'all
I know.
wanted to do. But because that was such a hot topic on Saturday, I wanted to make sure I had Mr. Salinas get some quotes. And so he was able to get me a couple of quotes. And there was one that came in at 5,500. So maybe a little bit less, but I just haven't had time to read all that information before this evening. The one that I know for sure that can do it is about 6,500.
Okay.
And so that may be something y'all want to consider now or in the future.
But the .51095 or 035 does not cover any 4th of July.
No.
At all.
No. My
Unless-
recommendation, if you're going to do the
Take it
4th of
from
July.
the reserve fund, which has about 922,000 in the reserve fund for the Economic Community Development Fund. So there is money there.
But again,
But
so
only a one-time, I
would, yes,
understand.
I really want to say one time because I do think your red light cameras are going to come to a head and y'all aren't planning for that. And so I'm going to have to be able to shift some of those employee costs, like your finance director probably and your assistant, those 20% that you see out of those funds. And so, because I don't know.
It's like the water.
Yeah.
It's like the water company.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, what we did over the last couple of 2-3
Correct.
years. Yeah. Okay. Let me ask Counselor Mersch and then Counselor Campos.
So is there a possibility that we can compromise instead of going a .510135, we go a .515 or something like that, where we're not up to .52, but we're a little bit more? I know that the 4th of July is really important to a lot of people. I'm really more worried about taking out all of these maintenance and, repair monies from all these departments and having a little bit of a cushion there for those types of things.
Because the manager's just saying, okay, come back for a budget adjustment. I mean, that's basically what you said.
So
Yeah.
everybody thought this year we were going to come back for a bunch of budget adjustment because I cut the budget substantially last year. I have harped on the department directors, unless it's a serious a truck just blew up, like the engine blew up, or something like that is really unexpected, we would have to come for a budget adjustment. We've done pretty good this year. We stayed within the parameters of our budget. I think I have 1 or 2 small budget adjustments that may come in September. We do have some rollover dollars that we just didn't finish the projects that'll roll over for next year. This is bare bones, but I also think that over time, and we're not the only city, I do think that over time, sometimes we do keep adding, like repairs and maintenance or a miscellaneous account. We're like, oh, well, that's kind of tracking going up, so we just add more money without really a justification. And so I really wanted to strip you down to your absolute need, and then you can kind of build from here, and making sure that what we're putting in for expenditures are actual expenditures for the community. I mean, I say but really the staff cut $380,000 from your budget. And so that is a lot of money. And so I'm very proud of the work that they have put into their individual budgets and what they've been willing to give up for next year. But in all reality, I do think that there was some fluff in some of those numbers. And so I'm not saying that we need to add more money in certain things. If we do add money, the one I would like to add to is the repairs and maintenance in the fire department from that 70,000 to 100,000. That's just because that's the way they've been tracking. So that's the one that, out of all the funds, that's the one that probably makes me the most nervous because I don't feel like I have the justification to keep it at 70,000. But I also know that there have been some larger expenses that we could have brought for a budget adjustment too that would have made sense. So it's kind of one of those things.
Okay. All right, Mr. Campos.
So, I was looking at your slide that said, here's the average, 230. So at a 230,000, this is close to $300,000 or $400,000 home, okay? Because you take out the 20%, and if it's an over 65, that's additional. So, I looked at the no new revenue rate, and I came up with the same calculation that it would be a $46.70 yearly increase, which is $3.90 a month, okay? And then I said, well, what happens if we go beyond that, because we're still in a deficit, and if we go just add one more penny, at 0.515040, that would raise that tax 69.81 cents per year. And that's not really a lot of money for the survivability of the city. Plus, our citizens, we're going to have to tell them, hey, you know, your expectations of us doing additional work that we never charged you for, or that you want us to mow the grass faster, we cannot get to that. And I don't think our citizens are going to want that. They're not going to accept that. And I would bet that some of them would agree, hey, I'll pay a little bit more because we need to. So that's my 2 cents. This rate increase doesn't affect anybody that's over 65. Okay, that it doesn't move the needle for them. It's only they get charged more for their real estate taxes if their appraisal rate goes up. So just keep that in mind. So that's, I would say it needs to go beyond it. I would be in favor of a 1 cent additional above the non-new revenue rate, which is a little bit, it just pennies, you know, half a cent over what you had provided us.
Okay, so that's going to be $5.81 per month, or 82 cents per month instead of $3.90.
Right.
So,
And
yeah,
that comes up to
That's
$69.81 a year.
0.51, yeah,
515040.
5040, yeah. Okay, so
So you're
do we
making
have
that as a
consensus, or
motion?
do y'all, or you still have some
So
concerns,
at
Counselor?
0.51, it's $9,156 additional to this budget. Is that correct?
No, the 0.515040, I would have to go do the,
Yeah.
I would have to go
It's,
put it.
it's more than 9,000.
It's a little bit
Okay.
more than the 9,000.
All right,
Yeah,
thank you.
okay. Yes, Counselor Campos.
But any surplus that this generates, we're underfunded in some of the repair line items. So we could allocate that to a line item for repairs, and there's no surplus or deficit.
And the manager just recommended another new line item, which is that geofencing, so
Right.
as far as
Well, and
helping
so
for.
when we talked about being 9,000 over, I was just bringing that up because that was a topic. And I know there was some conversation of just make the staff do it or knock on the doors or whatever. My concern is what if we're not here at 2 in the morning? That's my concern, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, I know I say I live here, but normally at 2 o'clock in the morning I am at home.
Okay, so is there consensus for the recommendation from Counselor Campos for 0.515040? Or the other one was
0.510135.
0.51035? That would give us 9,000.
Did Campos put it in a motion?
No, he didn't put it, well, I don't think we need a motion. You just need direction.
Yeah.
You want
I
to have a
really
motion?
would, just so when we post the notice.
Okay, there you go, that's fine. We have further discussion. Go
Because
ahead.
y'all are you're gonna raise this rate even if you go to the no new rev. My recommendation, I always, as your city manager, always lean on the no new revenue rate. Like I should provide you a budget in the no new revenue rate. And there's just nowhere else for me to take.
But it's
the
not
47.
balanced.
Correct. So what I would do, I
Has to
mean,
have a balanced budget.
you could come to me and say, we want a balanced budget, make up the 47,000. And I would just go start slashing from I don't have anywhere else to cut. I would be looking at personnel. And so,
Okay.
I'm just, you know.
All right, that sounds good. Counselor Mersch, what else did you want to add?
I just wanted to support the fact that that .515040 sounds like a reasonable compromise to give us the money that we need to balance the budget and to support some of the maintenance and repair cuts that were made in different areas, particularly the fire department. So I would make a motion that we have a 0.515040 tax rate for the 2025-26 budget.
Is that the one that you were doing?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
I second it.
All right. We have a motion by Counselor Mersch and a second by Counselor Orozco to recommend a .515040 tax rate for fiscal year 2026. Any further discussion? Anyone? All those in favor say aye. Any opposed? The motion does carry unanimously. Okay, thank you very much. I know this has been a hard decision, but anyway, at least we're moving in the right
So
direction.
the next council meeting, you will see a new budget with this new rate. The next item, you're going to be calling for the public hearing on the tax rate. You're not voting on the tax rate. It's just calling for the public hearing. It's just the way the law reads. So I just want to make that clear.
We're just calling it, yeah.
Just
that's it.
calling for the public.
Just so you can post it and
Yes, ma'am.
everything. Okay. Well, this was a 2-hour discussion, so thank you very much to my colleagues and to the citizens here in Chambers who added to the discussion. We greatly appreciate it. So moving on at 10 minutes after 8, 3.3 presentation and discussion on an ordinance authorizing the proposed 2025 property tax rate and a call for public hearing and adopt tax hearing, first reading. So we will not vote on it tonight, but at least we will.
Yeah, you just have to read it out loud, Mayor.
I just read it out. Okay. That's it. Okay, so.
Further discussion on it.
Yeah, well, it's a first read, so we can't vote on it. So this will be on the consent agenda, on the 8/19/2025 agenda.
No, we have to call for the public hearing, so then you will actually have the public hearing.
Okay, so then why do we have first reading?
It shouldn't be.
Okay, I was going to say, y'all, I'm reading it, first reading, that means we don't vote. We put it on the consent. Okay,
Oh,
so-
no, you are. This is the first read, but the next time will be the second read with the actual public hearing.
Okay,
Sorry.
with the actual
Yes, yes,
public
yes, ma'am.
hearing.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am. Yes.
Very good. So that'll be on 9/19.
Correct.
Not in the consent agenda, but on the regular
Regular
agenda.
agenda.
Okay, we got that. So no consent. Okay, very good.
Yes, Chihuahuas.
Okay, well, I had a whole lot of stuff for announcements, but it's kind of late. But I just want to just highlight just a few things. And thank you again, Dr. Caldera and Carol and all the other department heads for this presentation of the budget. It's, like I said, it's a labor of love, and it's been very, very difficult because we were in the hole. But the good news is that everybody's in the same position across the county, I think. So, but thank you for your efforts. Do appreciate it. And I think we've moved the ball forward, so that's good. Just want to let everybody know that Dr. Caldera and I attended a TxDOT meeting on Bandera Road. And the good news is that they have come a long way. We have a schematic. This is a big, long piece of paper that shows you what Bandera Road's going to look like and the changes and whatnot. The R cuts, I mean, we went in pretty much detail on how much it's going to cost. But here's the bad news. The bad news is that they had told us the last meeting that we would probably break ground in 2028. Well, that is now pushed out, and they don't know how far out it'll be pushed. Why? Because of funding. But the other good news on that is that we are going to have a totally shovel-ready project so that when the funding does come down, we'll be able to get funded. And just to recall, when we do this project, Leon Valley will be the phase 1. So it'll be 410 to Gilbo. So we'll get in on the bottom ground floor of this project whenever it does come to fruition. So that was the disappointing, was that they were saying it was going to be pushed out but I've invited them, TxDOT, to come to the town hall meeting in January. They'll give you all the complete update, and they'll show us the schematic, the layout of what it's going to be like. So did you have anything else, Dr. Caldera, that you wanted to add to that? But that was...
No. I mean, that was pretty much the idea. I mean, a little disappointing that we're pushed
yeah.
out.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it also puts things in, because we were getting ready to start doing policies and procedures for like the businesses and stuff. And so it does push that back a little bit too, so.
Right. But anyway, we'll keep you all updated on that. Had a homeless meeting. I'll just report on that probably in the Lion's Roar. But I just thought two things that came to my mind that were important. The highest, let's see, I want to be sure I'm saying this right. Children under the age of 18 represent the largest single age group experiencing homelessness. So that's children. that to me was concerning. Veterans unsheltered had dropped last year, so that's good news. But here's a national statistic I wanted to leave with y'all, and that's for every $100 in rent increase, homeless, unsheltered increases by 9%, and that's again nationwide. So rent has to do equals unsheltered people not being able to afford housing, so they're on the street. So, and there's a lot more, but I won't go into it. But anyway, it was a very interesting meeting, and I was glad to be able to have attended. I wanted to thank the library. I had my granddaughter last week for 3 days, so it was like, okay, what am I going to do with her, right? So I talked to Regina at the coffee, and they had a program on Thursday, and 86 kids came, and they all got a kit for a birdhouse, and then they got to paint it. And it was just really, really just a wonderful event. And I want to thank the library because they're doing such wonderful things for the kids to be busy during the summer. And then I also got to meet a neighbor in Linkwood with her third grader, which I didn't know. So, I mean, it was just a really good event, and I wanted to thank the library for doing that. Also, we were talking about budget. Bear County has their budget discussion for Precinct 2 on August the 12th at 6 to 7:30 at the San Antonio Food Bank Valero Room on Old US Highway 90. I am going to go. I went last year because I think it's important to show support because we have great partnerships with the county. So I plan on going again with the Unsheltered program, CDBG grants for our infrastructure, but also we're trying to promote animal control because they're getting a new facility and we'd like to get in on the ground floor of that. Okay, and then also y'all saw that sign out in the front, right? Low-cost vaccinations for your animals. This weekend, noon to 4 at the police department, and also on August 23rd. So that's really great. And then brush pickup starts on September 15th, and I know everybody will get a postcard. So that's it for me. Is there anyone else that has any announcements? Yes, Councilor Campos.
Very quick, Mayor. I want to thank all the residents that attended the Coffee with the Mayor on Saturday, July the 26th. It was from 9 to 11. We really appreciate hearing all the comments you made. Hopefully you've heard them. We've taken them to heart. We're trying to move forward on some of those things. And one of the things I want to report is there's 3 bid openings that are happening on August the 28th. One is the El Verde Road Water and Drainage Improvement Project. The second one's Cami Way Sewer Improvements, and the 2025 Water Main Improvements Project. All those bids are going to be opened on the 28th. You'll see some progress. I know there was some comments about where's the progress on the El Verde Road project. Well, now that you know when the bid's opening up. In July and as of today, we've had a series of main breaks, and if you have not known about it, we've had 4 main breaks. We had one on the 16th of July at Autumn Chase and Timber Hill. We had one on the 27th of July on Yellow Rose, and then on Watercrest, one in what is it? Thistle.
Thistle.
One of the Google.
Thistle.
One of the Google subcontractors punctured one of our water.
Yeah, so it turns out it was AT&T.
Oh, it was AT&T.
Yeah, yes, it was AT&T.
Okay, well then they can help us pay for that. Yeah.
And then today, we had another
one.
water
I
main
know.
break behind the Hobby Lobby. So the weather, the heat, it's causing water main breaks. So our city staff is addressing those. I think they had a contractor out there for the Watercrest one, but I just want to let you know what's been going on.
Okay, thank you. All right, anyone else have? Yes, Councilor Bolton.
I just want to make sure that everybody's aware of the traffic pattern change coming on August 11th. They're going to close off Monte Robles neighborhood for all parents that are taking their children to school at Marshall. You will now have to go Bandera Road to Eckert Road, drop them off in the front of the school, and then leave back on Eckert Road and come all the way around.
Oh,
North side
okay.
is doing this
Yeah. Is that a
effective on the
change?
11th.
I thought that we were supposed to go out on Thunderbird. Am I wrong
So
on that?
eventually, I think it
Yeah.
will, but this is under the
Okay.
construction piece.
Okay. All right.
They're already putting things out, letting parents know you're not going to be able to come in this way.
Okay.
So being a parent that has a child at Marshall, I understand that this
Yeah.
is going to add 30 minutes to my morning drive to take her to school.
Yeah.
So I'm just making sure that our other residents are aware of this and they plan accordingly.
Very good, thank you. And yeah, school starts on Monday. I can't believe it. August the 11th? Wow. But you know what? The lady that I was sitting at the library, she's a Northside school teacher, and she said, well, it's not so bad because we get out like on May 21st, which she is thrilled about. So I guess, a little bit here and a little bit there. So yes, Miss Heil, Counselor Heil.
I want to give a shout out to the Public Works guys that are out in the drainage area,
Yeah.
cleaning that area up. That grass was probably up to my waist. It's 100 degrees out there, and they're mowing. They're doing a fantastic job. I don't know how they do it all day long. I mean, I'm out an hour, and I think I'm going to die, but they just keep going. They're amazing. The other thing is, I went downtown with Dr. Caldera last Friday to a CPS meeting. A lot of good information. It was nice to see all the people there. And, it's kind of funny, I came away thinking, okay, so they do have a plan. We're not going to be without electricity. They're taking all the homes into account, what's coming up and everything that's going on. So it was a good meeting.
And thank you for substituting in for me. I had a planned trip, so. Okay, anyone else? Yes,
I
Counselor
just wanted to
Orozco, go
piggyback
ahead.
on what you were saying about the Bexar County tax budget. There's 3 meetings altogether.
Right, there's 4 meetings, one in
Four, that's
each
right, 4.
precinct, but this is precinct 2, Justin Rodriguez, and I just feel like we're in precinct 2, that's the one I should go to, but
There's
yes,
some that
there is,
are-
there's, yeah.
And also want to give a shout out to the police department. Since I live off of Evers, I see a lot of speeders. And this weekend, I saw the police stop cars 9 times
No way.
this weekend alone.
Good for you.
For trying to stop the speeders. And a shout out to them because Evers is pretty, So other than that, school's starting, careful, and watch it with our baby deer that's out there.
Okay, very good. All right, thank you all very much, really appreciate it. All right, we'll move on to Dr. Caldera's report. Dr. Caldera.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. So my city manager's report is online and outside if y'all want to see it. The only thing I have to add, I had the John Marshall thing on my to-do list, is I know we've been getting a lot of calls and complaints about the increased code enforcement, and so that will be up for discussion on the August 19th council agenda, and we can openly discuss what that looks like.
Well, is it code enforcement
Well,
and
it's
police?
right, it will be
You were
increased
correcting me
enforcement.
today that
Yes,
it's
increased
transportation,
yes.
yeah,
So it'll be
so-
increased, I said code enforcement, but increased enforcement. So
okay.
we will have that discussion on August the 19th, and we can openly have what that is looking like.
Okay, very good. And by the way, your letter was posted on Nextdoor.
Yes, ma'am.
So I just
It was
wanna let you
posted
know
on
that.
Nextdoor, Facebook, Instagram, I don't know, our city website, and
Okay.
so.
All right, very good. Okay, moving then to the consent agenda at 8:25. Anyone on the council like to remove any item for discussion, 6.1 through 6.6? Yes, Counselor Bolton.
Yes, ma'am, I would like to pull item number 3.
6.3?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, the telecommunications that we discussed last meeting. Anyone else? All right, may I have yes?
Could I pull number 4? I still haven't looked at that entire thing to see. I have not looked at that entire packet to read where we're replacing things.
Okay, so you want to discuss that again as well? Okay?
If we could just discuss it in 2 weeks.
Yes, go ahead.
Just before you pull
Okay.
it. So the agreement the last time was to adopt it, then we're going to bring it back in chunks.
Okay,
So so then you'll get a clean version of what we adopted, and then we'll bring it back in pieces.
okay, perfect.
Okay.
That's fine.
Okay.
Would
Then I
that be
withdraw.
okay? Okay,
I
very
withdraw.
good. Yeah,
Thank you.
that was our understanding. Okay, so with that said, may I have a motion to approve consent agenda items 6.1, 2, 4, 5, and 6, please?
I so moved.
All right, we have a motion by Counselor Orozco and a second by Counselor Campos to approve those consent agenda items I just listed. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion does carry. Oh, yes.
I have a quick question.
Oh.
What do you mean by pooling? Like,
Okay.
pool agenda?
Okay, all right, well, remove for discussion, and I'm sorry, pulling is not the right word, I'm sorry. Remove for discussion, but thank you for that clarification, yeah. So, yes, sir.
Does that mean we're just not discussing it, or does that mean they're not building the tower?
No, we are going to discuss that. That's the only one on the consent agenda that we're going to discuss. Yeah, so we're removing that for discussion. The others are going to be, that we're going to be adopted as presented in the consent agenda, okay? And we did vote on that, right? No. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion does carry. So consent agenda item 1, 2, 4, 5, and 6 are formally adopted. As per Counselor Bolton, we are pulling or removing for discussion a consent agenda item 6.3. Let me read it, please. Discussion and possible action on an ordinance approving a request for a specific use permit to allow construction and operation of a telecommunication antennae tower in a B3 commercial zoning district located at 6004 Grissom Road and more specifically described as Lot 4, CB 5955, Leon Valley Ranches subdivision. Now, we did have a first read at our last meeting, which was on, well, it wasn't July 1st, it was July 15th is when we had that. So that needs to be changed. And we did have a public hearing. My understanding now is that we did send out notices. Some people didn't get notices. And so we will discuss this, and if people have input, we want to hear from you. So I just wanted to make that clear. All right, so Susanna, our Planning and Zoning Director, if you'll continue, please.
Sure. Good evening, Mayor and Council. Yes, this was discussed at your last meeting. It's a request to consider a special use permit for a telecommunication antenna tower in a B3 district, and it's located on approximately 1 acre of land, and it's located at 6004 Grissom Road. The applicant is planning to construct a 160-foot high monopole tower with related antennas, equipment in a 50 by 50 square fenced area. They do have a leased area of 10,000 square feet that's in the back of the property. The property itself is 1 acre, and in the front is Arredondo Group, has a building in the front.
And excuse me, what kind of business do they have?
It is like it said engineering and foundation.
Foundation design.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, thank you, I appreciate that. Okay.
This just shows you the section of the code that regulates antenna towers and states that it would require a special use permit. This is the location that's off Grissom Road. This shows the existing building in the front of the property, and the proposed lease space is it's towards the very back. And that building, I know that question came up last time, that building is staying there. They're just leasing the back portion.
And that's about 1 acre total land?
It's
Is
1
that right?
acre total.
Right.
Yes, but they are leasing a 50 by 50 foot area that will be fenced in the very back.
In the back of their property?
Correct.
Okay, very good.
This shows you the aerial. Again, there's the existing building. There's like a path, a drive towards the back, and the lease spaces around right here.
Okay.
And I'll show you a site plan a little further. We went over the zoning district, the surrounding zoning districts. This property is zone B3. There's single-family residential to the rear.
Right.
This shows you the zoning map. The master plan does show Grissom corridor encouraging primarily retail uses with some multifamily, townhouse dwelling, and garden home uses. We find that this request is compatible with the city's master plan as long as the applicant maintains the minimum setbacks that are required and separation distances from residential areas and uses. The proposed tower must comply with all code requirements. These will include, like I said, setback, fencing, signage, and lighting regulations, and they will be required to pull a building permit prior to construction. We did send out notices. We sent out 16 notices. We did not receive any in favor or opposed or undeliverable.
Okay.
The applicant,
Hang on, let's finish the presentation and then I'll open it up for discussion. Okay, let's finish the presentation. Ms. Huerta, go ahead.
yes, the applicant has paid all of their fees associated with this request. The development of a telecommunication antenna tower may increase ad valorem property taxes, and that's, as we stated, it's because it's increasing the value of the property by adding that structure on the property. Mobile telecommunication services are subject to state, local, and local sales tax based on the primary use. Staff doesn't have any objections to the issuance of the specific use permit to allow the construction and operation of a telecommunication antenna tower. And the Planning and Zoning Commission recommended approval of the specific use permit with a 6-0 vote.
Okay.
I also wanted to advise you that I did notify the applicant about the added questions, and they were only aware of a neighboring property owner having an issue with the condition of the property at this moment, and more based with the property owner. They didn't understand that they hadn't received any feedback as far as opposition to the tower, but more to the condition of the existing property. But he was nowhere close to Leon Valley and couldn't make it today.
Okay, very good. I just wanted to, thank you for that presentation, but I remember one of the first thing I asked you was, did El Verde Road, the 200 feet, who got the notification? And I believe Dr. Caldera ended up sending it to all of us. And so I saw Mr. Barrera's name, I saw Mr. Hody's name, I saw Cindy Hindley's name. But since then, I've heard from at least one resident who said he did not get notification. And I'm guessing that some people in the back did not get notification as well. So, yes, sir, that's who I said, Mr. Barrera. I don't know who the couple is. So, anyway, just with that said, I'm not sure how the council wants to handle that. Yes. I mean,
Just to provide you some.
Yeah.
So the council has the ability to extend the notification.
that's what I was going to say. Yeah.
So that may benefit you. I will tell you that we have had a lot of the law requires us to mail the postal notification, and so we do so. We have had in the past issues with the mail carrier. I mean, us even here, when we send out all kinds of notifications for different things, I got a returned letter 4 months after I sent it. So we do have issues with our mail service provider, and there's not really much I can't fix the U.S. Postal Service. But you can do an expanded notification, and it would also give the applicant time to be present to answer whatever questions are needed as well.
Because we definitely have some concerns, and these citizens did not get notification, so that's very important. So, with that said, would y'all like to hear from the citizens that are here on El Verde? Mr. Barrera, come on up, Mr. Hody, and then I'll hear from y'all too. Okay. All right, Mr. Barrera. This is Jesse Barrera on El Verde Road. I just need to make sure.
I live on El Verde Road. I've been here 45 years. This is very primitive, what you've got up here. I don't know who drew it up, but you got to be more specific than that. We need to see measurements. How far is that tower going to be from that back fence? And the dimensions of itself also. You don't have nothing up there, okay? And we deserve that, okay?
Well, let's make sure. Do we have that? Excuse me. Do we have that information? I know we have the.
You have to have it.
I know we had the height
Either
of
he
it.
has to provide it to you,
Yeah.
or someone here is going to have to provide it.
Okay.
You cannot just walk in here and say, we're going to put it there, and you're going to accept it. No, can't do that.
No, we had a public hearing.
You just can't push people.
Yeah. No, no,
You know,
Mr.
enough
Barrera.
is enough.
Yeah. Mr. Barrera, we don't do things like that. We had a public hearing.
You have done it.
Unfortunately, you didn't get notification, so we couldn't hear from you last time,
Going back
but we're
to
hearing
this.
from you today.
From his home, how much of a setback are you people going to require for him to set it up? From his building, not from the back fence.
Okay,
Of his
let,
building, what is it?
From his
Okay.
building. You want it from the existing building?
I'm asking, let's put it closer to his building or put it in the front.
Okay.
oh, I think
It's
his,
not being proposed close to the front.
mm-hmm.
Why not?
It's being proposed about 50.
Okay, but why should it be burdened on us?
Okay,
That's what we're asking.
all right.
I
I'm
mean-
sorry? What did you say? I'm sorry. Two people were
Put it
talking.
up close to his building or put it in the front just like everybody else.
Okay,
All signs, all lights that are tall and whatever, above so many feet, everything is in the front, nothing in the back. And you never see a tower in a residential area. There's one that's just being erected up here by the, let's see, the new restaurant, dance hall that opened up. If you go back there, you'll see one being erected. It's about 80% complete. It's away from them, Bandera Road, and you'll never see one close to a residential.
okay, all right,
There's
thank
one
you.
more thing that you people haven't thought about. Better start thinking about it. You know what happened, you know what goes over, especially right over my home? It comes into Lackland Air Force Base.
You mean those big, B-50 whatever, those big, planes?
Every
Yeah.
day,
Hello.
we got jet fighters, planes coming over.
Oh,
No, I
You're
did
going
not.
to jeopardize, and you were talking about veterans, you're going to jeopardize these jet pilots because these antennas can and have in the past broken up communications or given false communications, especially when it's right over it, and
okay.
especially that tall.
So you're saying the tower will interfere with the
Nobody
jet
here has
pilot's
even looked at it.
communication?
I guarantee
Okay,
you.
all right.
Nobody's thought about it.
Okay, well, thank you. I
Okay.
appreciate that, Mr. Barrera.
Not through.
Okay, I'll give you another
contacted the
minute, and then we've
FAA?
got to move on.
Who contacted the FAA? Here, did you? You have to. You cannot erect a tower right over the flight path without contacting them. So before you talk to Verizon again, I'll talk to the gentleman. I'll tell him, you haven't done your homework. Nobody here has done it.
All right. I've so noted it, so, okay, thank you. We will follow it back up with that.
But I'll ask you again, don't shove it down our throats, okay? Would you
Okay.
like to have it in your backyard? I'll start with you. Would you like to have it in your backyard?
Mr. Barrera,
No.
Mr. Barrera, we're not going to have the back and forth with the council right now. It's your,
Well, I mean,
you,
it's-
no,
it's
you
only
are,
fair,
you are
you know.
communicating with us. That's what we're hearing. We're listening to you. That's what we do tonight. So,
Well, let's be fair about it. Would you like it in your backyard?
Mr. Barrera, it's not about my backyard, it's about your backyard. So we're trying
want
to,
it in
we're
my
I
backyard.
know, that's what, you've already made it clear. So if that's it, then we're going to let you sit down and we're going to have some other people in the chambers come in and talk as well. So, thank you. I've noted all of your concerns, and that's really good. Okay, can I hear from Mr. Hody? Mr. Martinez, let me hear from the neighbors first, and then Mr. Martinez will hear from you. All right.
Evening, Mayor and Council.
And
My
you
name is-
did get notification, is that correct?
No.
Oh, you didn't? Oh,
Uh,
I thought Mr.
Anyway, my
Barrera
name
said
is
you
Matthew
did.
Hody, and
Okay,
I live in Leon
all
Valley
right.
Ranches on El Verde Road.
Okay,
And there were 7 R1s that were to receive notification.
yeah.
Nobody got them.
Is that
Nobody.
right? Okay, my
Zilch.
correction, yeah.
The only reason I knew about this
Mm-hmm.
is, you know, this is keep your finger on the pulse of what's going on, is I went back and looked at the agenda from last month that I didn't, meeting that I didn't attend.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, okay,
Yeah.
wait, what is this? So nothing. So
Well,
that's
thank you
why
for
I
that,
think,
because
we're a
that's
little-
why I asked, because you all have got
I
a really,
watched
really,
I
yeah.
watched the video, and I
Uh-huh.
saw you ask
Yeah,
that, and you seemed like you were a little bit like taken aback.
I was.
That nobody said anything, because you know darn well that
I know.
we're
Y'all
gonna
are
come up
very
here and at a
active
minimum ask
neighborhood.
questions.
Yes.
So, no, you were
Okay.
right.
All right, very good.
So, yeah, 7 R1s, the rest of them, I guess, were commercial, but no, we did not get anything.
Okay, so we're going to have to re-notify, I think.
Yes. So this, to me, is going to be basically an eyesore right out our back doors, our backyards. It's going to change the view. It's not going to be the same anymore. You know, we've got high power transmission lines across the creek from us, but those have been there, you know, not a problem. This is something new, and I don't think any of us are too thrilled to have it.
Sure.
So my question is, why are we putting it next to a residential and not a more commercial area? Or next to an existing tall structure, like maybe one of the water towers or something along that. That can't be the only place that can go. I mean, it's a stone's throw from our backyards, and we're definitely going to be able to see it. And so, you know, somebody is going to be making money off of this, and yet we're going to have to put up with it. So that's kind of a rip-off, if you will. You know, when they drill for oil on your land, you know, the neighboring land owners get royalties too. So it's kind of back-asswards way of putting it, but yeah, somebody's getting money, getting paid for this, and then we're going to have to deal with it. And then I printed off some things here for y'all to look at.
Oh, good.
So I know I'm not allowed to pass them out,
No,
so whoever can do
yeah,
that.
no,
I
you
can
can
bring
give them
to
to Susanna, and she'll pass them out, or you can pass them out. Yeah, we had somebody else came.
They're just single page, I might be short.
Do we have enough for everybody? Decreased property value, 5G sales, okay.
Okay, so it's what I read or looked up, and this is a couple of notes. According to the National Association of Realtors, we find that homes close to towers sell for a discount of up to 7.6%, and that any noticeable effect disappears at 1,500 feet. So at some point, it's not a problem anymore.
Oh, wait, here's another one.
An Alabama study, 2.65% decrease in values for properties within 2,300 feet of a tower. Study in Kentucky found that properties within 1,000 feet of a tower sold for 1.82% less than those that were at 4,500 feet away. So it's going to affect us.
Your property values.
And more than just the way that, what we see when we go out our back doors.
I gotcha.
So-
Okay. Thank you for that statistic, and we've passed out your literature, so thank you. Okay, and the couple, would you all please state your name and where, I'm assuming you're on El Verde.
Yeah, I'm on 5801 Alverde, so that's gonna be
5801, and what is your
literally
name?
in my backyard, like right
Okay,
out my
what is your
backyard.
name?
Christian Jarboe,
Christian, is that Jarbow?
B-O-E.
Okay, Jarboe, Christian.
Yeah, I
And-
agree with most of what they said, and my concern is obviously my backyard.
So your
being
backyard
messed.
is right there at the
Right
fence
there,
line?
Yes, and I'd like to point out that the Arredondo Group, they own that adjacent property as well, so it could go right next to their building on Grissom.
Oh, at the front of the?
Yeah, at the front, 'cause they own
Okay.
both those lots.
They do, okay.
But yeah, I mean,
Okay.
property values going down and a big eyesore in my backyard doesn't
Yeah.
sound fun to
Okay.
me.
Very good. And your,
That's just my girlfriend.
and your name?
My name is Abigail Flores.
Okay, Abigail, I just want to make a note for the record. Abigail Flores. Okay, very good. And so you're both opposed to this tower for the,
I mean, unless I'm also getting a payout, like he
Okay.
said. I mean, it's kind of unfair.
Okay.
Like, I mean, we all have to deal with the consequences of it being there.
Mhm.
He's the only person who's getting, I'd assume, 1,500 to 2,000 a month for it, something like that.
okay. I don't think that came out in the public hearing,
Yeah,
but he
it's
does,
probably not gonna- yeah, it's
I
gonna
don't
be-
believe we got a dollar figure, but yeah, right. Okay, but that's interesting. I didn't know that Mr. Arredondo owned the lot next to it.
Yes, the one directly below. it.
Okay, yeah, I did not know that. Is that something, Susanna Huerta, that you know for a fact? That Mr. Arredondo owns the next lot over? Okay, okay, very good. I'm just curious,
If they don't own
okay.
it, they're piling like rocks and debris there, and they have been forever.
Okay.
We've got like roads and stuff going back
I gotcha.
there. Yeah, I'm
All right.
99% sure they own it.
You're 99%, okay. Well, thank you for coming this evening. We really appreciate it. And you did not get any notification as well?
No, we got
Okay.
no notification.
No
at all.
notification.
And I heard
Okay.
you mentioned that Cindy got a notification, but we were just talking to her husband yesterday, and he didn't know.
Huh.
So I don't think that Cindy got it, even though it might be on your list.
Yeah, it was on our
Maybe
list.
She didn't tell John, but.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw her name as well. Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Okay. Mr. Martinez, you're next.
I'll be brief. I think most of you know that I'm a ham operator, and with antennas and towers, you can build up to 200 feet without having to light. Once you go above 201 feet, you have to light them. So I don't think, how tall is this tower going to be? 120? So it's going to be
120?
way lower than what's going to be required, or you don't have to worry about being on a flight path, or, unless you're right directly in the flight path, like San Pedro, if you drive down San Pedro by the freeway, by the airport, yeah, that's in the flight path. There, you have to get FAA approval for any kind of tower you put up. But here, there's no requirement for that. And as long as you stay below 200 feet, no lighting, nothing is required other than the special use
we
permit.
we can verify that if we need
Yeah,
to.
you can verify
That's
that.
what I would
but,
like to do.
That's in fact, I believe it's even in our code about you can go up to 200 feet, if I remember correct.
Oh, okay. All right, thank you. Anyone else?
Mayor, I just
Yes.
wanted to point out their survey here, it's kind of light here, but Crystal and I verified it. It does say Arredondo Group as
Okay.
the owner
So they
of
own
this
that
property.
that property next door. Okay, very good. Okay, so I'm going to, if there's no other questions from our members of our citizens in the chamber, I want to bring it back to direction from our council. I think we talked about expanding the notification and inviting Verizon, I think, to come back, and what else?
I mean, that would be my recommendation for this item. Again, I can't, we know we mailed out the letters. We haven't received them back, so they're either lost in the US Postals, I don't know. But if you do an
Okay.
increased notification for the next council meeting, that would give another additional week for the new or week and a half for new notifications to go out. You can
like
go
that.
up to 200 feet. So that I just need a motion to extend the notification and we can resend it out.
Okay, yes.
Oh, hold on, I've got,
Okay.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
No. I'll second, I'll
Go
second
ahead.
that motion.
Thank you.
All right.
a motion to expand the notification to the 200 feet?
Yes, ma'am, I'd like to make a notion to expand it to 200 feet and
Just 200 feet or a larger area than 200 feet? What about everybody on Alverde Road? You know?
longer, I would say 300 feet. I mean, really.
Well,
I mean,
I'm
it's
just
going to be,
saying.
well, I would, maybe the entire street, the people that are going to have to look at it, it is a residential area.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I would want a voice in it if it was on my street.
Uh-oh.
How many houses are in Alverde? Is it 15?
I don't know. I would probably, to be safe, probably about 1,000 feet, probably.
Okay. Then my motion would be that we extend it to 1,000 feet.
Okay, all right. And Mr. Campos is going to second. And do we have enough time to do that and still get it on the agenda by the 19th, or should we
Postpone it till
postpone
Let's
it
go
to
make a table to,
September
a
2nd?
motion to table this
Yeah.
item until we get the information. Is that
It's
okay?
not getting information. You can't table, there's no additional information to get. But you can wait till September
2nd?
2nd. Yes.
Do we
Okay,
need
well,
to
we
make a
already got a
motion for that?
motion on the floor, so we gotta get that one done first.
No, all she's requesting is.
Is 1,000
correct, the
feet.
Is 1,000 feet. So you
yeah.
have a second, call,
right.
call for that, and then we'll postpone it to whatever date y'all want to.
Okay, so all those in favor of expanding the notification to 1,000 feet, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion does carry. Now, the second concern was date certain.
To make a motion to table this till I know you said September 2nd, until everybody gets notified, and I would like to look at this again as well. They made some very good points here, and I want to look at it again before I vote on it. So September, you know what, let's move it to the middle of September, and that gives more people.
That's going to be
notified.
September 16th.
Okay, if I can.
Hold on, we don't have any SUP, we don't have to vote on an SUP by a certain time? No? Okay. I just want to make sure.
Okay.
I don't want to make sure there wasn't a shot
I'd
clock
like
on it.
to,
90 days? Okay.
Okay.
All right. So
okay, I'd like to
September
table this to
16th.
September 16th. This way it'll give everybody notification and they can notify more neighbors. And so we can make a true vote on this with all the information that's out
Yeah,
there.
because we want to know about the FAA
Oh,
and all
and
that other
it
stuff.
really hit me is
Does
the
he own
decrease of
another
property
lot?
value.
Yeah, and the
That-
property
that's what really
values.
hit me.
I'll
Okay.
second that
All right,
motion.
so we have a motion by Counselor Orozco and a second by Counselor Campos to postpone this agenda item until September 16th, so we can make sure everybody gets notified and then get the answers to our questions that we presented tonight. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion does carry. Okay, thank you all very much for coming.
I think there was
Appreciate
one
it.
final comment or question
Final
with the
com-
young man?
Oh, did you have a question or comment? Oh, you got to come to the podium because we're recording. That's okay.
I was just gonna say that 1,000 feet is gonna include that big apartment complex that's right there, and I don't know if they care, and I don't know what the logistics would be like to notify everyone in the apartment complex.
Oh.
Yeah, we do it all the time. It's not that big of a deal.
I was just wondering about
Okay.
Yeah, it wouldn't be to all of the individual people that live there. It would be to the property owner, and that would be the owner of the apartment complex.
Okay, thank you all very much for coming this evening. We really appreciate it. All right. Okay, moving on then to the regular agenda item, 7.1, and we do have a public hearing. Presentation, public hearing, and discussion to consider approval of an ordinance vacating, abandoning, and quitclaiming Samaritan Drive for the benefit of the public. This is the first read as required by city charter, and Susanna Huerta, our Planning and Zoning Director, will present this evening. Good evening and welcome back.
Good evening. Yes, the council is being asked to consider the approval of an ordinance vacating, abandoning, and quitclaiming Samaritan Drive. You have the options of approving, which is the recommended, approving the ordinance, denying, or other. Samaritan is a substandard roadway. It's too narrow for emergency service, for emergency vehicles. Frequently, it is overgrown with vegetation. It's used for dumping and has a poor rating of 56, a PCI of 56. The property owner of both sides of the right-of-way will be building a new Samaritan Drive that will meet current roadway standards.
Okay.
The property owners of Seneca Trail subdivision have petitioned for this, have made this request to abandon, vacate, and quitclaim the right-of-way currently known as Samaritan Drive. They intend to close the street, and they will build a new Samaritan Drive closer to the drainage way between the existing Samaritan Drive and Grass Hill Street. The existing roadway was not built to current roadway standards, and it's too narrow for emergency access, and it doesn't have modern utilities, including curbs or sidewalks. If kept, it would require full reconstruction, and it's not covered by the street maintenance tax funds. The owner who owns both the properties adjacent on both sides of the roadway is replating the Grass Hill Estates subdivision to construct a new neighborhood known as Seneca Trails. And this closure will allow for better circulation, a standard width roadway, and new utilities. The master plan of the development was approved by City Council, with this street closure being included as part of that master plan. This declaration of abandonment is in the public's best interest. It won't affect or impair any public rights in the subject tracts for easements or any other rights, except for the right of the public to travel on the subject tract. So it will be available for the public to travel on. Texas Transportation Code, Chapter 311, Section 311.001 gives home rule municipalities exclusive control over and under public highway, streets, and alleys of the municipality. And it further states that the municipality may open or change public street or alley of the municipality or improve a public highway, street, or alley within the municipality. This is the master development plan that was approved, and it does show the location of Samaritan Drive where it's being proposed as part of the development. This shows the current alignment.
Mm-hmm.
And
Gotta
there you
move
see.
it down.
Yeah. And this is the new alignment where they're,
Now,
where they will be placing
Susanna,
it.
as I was looking through this to prepare for tonight, it says 100-year floodplain per 2024 Lomar. Is that something, is that something that's going to impact that neighborhood, this floodplain? And I don't
No,
know, I'm
because
just-
they will have to address the drainage.
So they'll have a detention, but it's
Yes.
not shown here, so,
Correct,
okay. I
yes.
was just curious about that. Okay, thank you.
And that's part of all the improvements that,
Okay.
the roadways are going to have.
Okay.
This does show you the existing condition of the road, how it looks today. As far as fiscal impact, the developer will be responsible for the removal of the existing street, any utilities, and for the construction of the new street and utilities. After the city accepts the new street, the city will be responsible for the future maintenance, and the developer will build new homes on the roadway property.
Okay.
Staff is recommending approval of the ordinance to vacate and abandon Samaritan Drive and quitclaim the property to the adjacent property owners.
Okay. Very good, thank you. All right, are there any questions from my colleagues to Ms. Huerta on planning and zoning on this particular agenda item presentation? Okay, seeing none, then we will open up the public hearing at 8:56 and see if there's anyone in our chambers that would like to address this issue on moving Samaritan and vacating it and abandoning it and quitclaiming it. So, all right, that we need in order for the development to occur. Okay, so I don't see anyone that would like to address the council at this time, so I'll close the public hearing at 8:56. And since this is a first read, I will ask my colleagues, would you like to put this in the consent agenda for the next meeting?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so we'll do it on the
Yes, ma'am.
consent agenda. Okay, thank you so much, Ms. Huerta, I do appreciate it. Okay, so then we move to 7.2. Again, first read, no vote. Presentation and discussion of an ordinance amending ordinance 2024-25 to approve a request for a one-year extension to the specific use permit, SUP, for the construction of a church and learning center on approximately 2.75 acre tract of vacant land, Zone B-3, Commercial District, with commercial industrial overlay zoning located at 5307 Wurzbach Road, being the replat of Rolling Wood Ridge subdivision, lots 24 and 25, and Rolling Wood Estates Unit 1 subdivision, the west 250 feet of Lot 5, County Block 9904, establishing Lot 30R. Again, this is the first read as required by city charter. We won't have a vote tonight, but we'll decide where we want to place it in on the agenda for the next meeting. So, Ms. Huerta, thank you, and I appreciate your presentation.
Before you is to consider approval of a request for a one-year extension of the specific use permit. It is located at 5307 Wurzbach, and they have approximately 2.75 acres of vacant land. As we stated, you did see that, or P&Z approved this replat late last year. It is proposed for the construction of a church, specifically a mosque and a learning center. The replat was recorded in May of this year. This is the aerial view of the property. You see here how it's vacant currently. The project consists of a replatted lot. 6,081 square feet will be for the mosque, 5,529 for the learning center, and these structures will face Worsbach Road. The parking lot, vehicles will exit onto Blackberry Drive, which was this drive back here to the rear. The owner's also proposing a basketball court and picnic area, and they need an additional year extension because they are not ready to start construction right now.
So that was the requirement. They had to start within a year, and if they didn't, then they had to come back for an
Yes.
extension. That's why we're here
Correct.
today. Okay.
Correct.
Very good.
And this just shows you the site plan that I just described, and this shows the parking lot back here near Blackberry. The mosque and the learning center are fronting
And
closer to Worsbach.
Have they designated where the basketball court and the picnic area is going to be yet? I guess not. I didn't see that on the,
Right top corner, right here.
oh, okay, over there. Okay, I see that. I do, it's very tiny. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
And this just shows a section of the code that says within 1 year of the time of granting of the specific use permit, the city council may authorize an extension of the time limit.
And is there a limit on how many extensions you can request?
It does not.
Okay,
It,
I was
it
just
does
curious.
not. The code does not mention it, so
Okay. Okay,
my interpretation would be that there's not a limit.
okay, all right, thank you.
The code requires that an SUP where it abuts residential zone, an SUP is required when it abuts residentially zoned property. And it is adjacent, the residential property is adjacent to the planned parking lot. And the project, as proposed, does meet all requirements for landscaping, parking, and lighting. The use of church is allowed in all zoning districts. This just goes over the history of the property. It was rezoned in 83. It was zoned to R1 in 83, from R1 to B3. It was rezoned from B3 to B3 commercial with industrial overlay zoning in 2010. It got platted in 1949, and it's been replatted, well, now 3 times. First in 82, then in 2002. However, the property has remained vacant all this time. The TIA, as presented, has a use with less than 100 peak hour trips, so no additional studies required. The owner has paid all fees associated with this application. Since it is a church, the land will not be taxed. However, parishioners may shop in Leon Valley, which could provide a small sales tax revenue. Oops.
Okay.
Staff is recommending approval of the 1-year extension. The property owner, the applicant is here if you have any questions.
All right.
And
If you'd like to come forward and just state your name, and let me ask my colleagues if they have any questions. There's not a public hearing on this one, but anyway, thank you. I remember you from a year ago. And your name, please?
Yeah, my name is Shamim Akhtar,
Okay.
and I'm representing the association.
Okay. Okay. All right. Do we have any questions or comments? Yes, Councilor Campos, and thank you for coming this evening. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
How are you this evening?
I'm doing great.
Welcome.
Mm-hmm.
So, can you explain why has there been a delay? Why are we here for the extension? I'm not in, because we're kind of, at least I'm wondering, if we allow this extension, are you going to come back again? And so what are the contributing factors why you've not started this project?
That's a great question. A lot of people within our community also ask the same question. So basically, last year we spent a lot of time getting the SUP approved, and then we ran into a little bit of a hurdle during the replatting process.
I'm sorry,
And
getting
hurt-
the what packing process?
On the replatting.
Oh, replatting.
process,
Okay, I
because
didn't hear that.
We had
Okay.
platted the property,
Gotcha.
the two property,
Right.
then we bought the property in
Yeah.
the back
Right.
for the access. And then there was a big discussion or resolution. It took a long time to resolve the drainage issue.
Ah.
The city of Leon Valley would have wanted us to put a drainage structure on the property. Our calculations show that it was not required. Then we were referred to go to City of San Antonio to clear it, get clarification. So we got City of San Antonio involved, in the discussion of all this drainage issue. And we also had to reach out to Tex Dot because all this drained down to the street, which is
Wurzbach?
Is Wurzbach, but it goes Exchange Parkway.
Oh,
The
Exchange Parkway.
and then there's a big, huge
Oh.
drainage package
Okay.
over there. So we all the
Okay.
dimensions and verification and the flow and 100-year flows and all that was calculated. I learned a lot
Sure.
during that process. And it just took a long time to get through that process.
Okay.
And it almost took it to the end of the year. And then we finally got our platting done this January 6th, I believe, or January 10th, or something like that. So our focus was kind of, we had to refocus because of all the issues going on. So we feel all our plans are completed. Within a month, we hoping to turn in our plans, submittal of our plans to the city. So that's where we are.
Okay.
Thank you
good.
very
Thank
much.
you.
I
Thank you
appreciate
for
your
that
response.
explanation. I think that was very helpful for all of us to hear that. All right. Any other questions or comments for agenda item 7.2? All right. Yes, go ahead.
I'd like to make a motion to
No,
approve
this is a
7.2.
first,
Oh,
this
it
is a
reading?
first read.
Okay.
First read, so we don't vote on it. I was just going to say, but we can put it on the agenda for August the 19th in the consent agenda, which means it'll be automatically approved if my colleagues direct me to do that.
I'd like to make that recommendation as
Okay?
well.
All right, very good.
I'd like to second.
Okay, well, very good. So we will put this on for the consent agenda, so it should be approved on August 19th, so then you'll be free to go ahead and work and get that doggone
Appreciate it.
mosque and learning center built, right? Okay.
We would like to do that.
All right, well, thank you so much. Really appreciate you being here this evening. Yes, thank you. And thank you, Ms. Huerta, for your presentation as well. All right, we're moving then to Agenda 7.3 at 9:06. Presentation, discussion, and possible action on a resolution authorizing staff to apply to the Texas Department of Texas Department of Parks and Wildlife for a local park grant program to provide funding for the renovation of the Forest Oaks Community Pool Facility. And we have Dave Demeline this evening, not Melinda Moore as on the agenda. But anyway, welcome. We haven't seen you, and we're so glad to see you tonight.
Thank you, Mayor and Council.
You bet.
Good evening. So this item we're bringing forward a resolution that would authorize staff to apply for a grant for the rehabilitation of the Forest Oaks Community Pool. So some background, as you know, the pool was constructed in 1965, operated by the Forest Oaks Community Association, and then donated to the city in 2017. We've had it inspected, and it's revealed that pretty much nearly all the systems, including the HVAC, electrical, the plumbing, all needs to be replaced. It's in disrepair. We have some additional issues. The pool needs to be replastered, so we've talked about that at a previous meeting. Some of the plumbing and the drains that I had mentioned, and then performing some pool bonding, but we've already completed that as well. The entire facility is not up to ADA standards. So the City Council held previous meetings to talk about the different pool concepts. Concept D was determined to be the preferred option, and that's at an estimated cost of $1.6 million. A final decision was not made to proceed, but funding options were considered that include bond issuance or grant funding. And we have found a grant through the Texas Department of Parks and Wildlife, which would cover 50% of the project cost. To apply for the grant, it does require a resolution, which is this item tonight. Concept D is basically so as you walk into the pool, there would be a building kind of similar to what we have today. To the right, there would be restrooms. To the left would be an office for the lifeguards, and then a room for the pumps and the new filters. The pool footprint would remain the same. It's going to have a lot of shade structures all around it. And then it's going to have a brand-new pavilion up around the area where we have the barbecue station, barbecues, and it's going to require, basically include a lot of flagstone walkways. Everything will be ADA compliant, and so that was concept D. And as I mentioned, as you walk in, there would be a breezeway as you're walking towards the pool. The restrooms would be to the right, and then the building to the left would be an office, and then all of the pumps and storage and room for our filters and whatnot. So the budget is 1.6 million. It's kind of hard to see this, but that includes mobilization, demolition, all the items that I just kind of went over with the pool, and then landscaping and irrigation. So the grant that we were able to find is a 50% match. So it would be, we're talking about $1.6 million project. That would be $800,000. And potential funding sources could come from the general fund or bond financing.
Mm-hmm.
So the recommendation is going to be, it's at your discretion, and we do have an item in this year's budget to replaster the pool. That estimate is at $80,000. And I'll be happy to answer any questions that you
So,
have.
yeah, I know we all have some questions here, but so you're just basically wanting to submit for the grant the already proposed $1.6 million that we went over, a year ago?
Yes.
Right, so.
We actually, so the grant is, it was due in early August, but it does require a resolution.
Mm-hmm.
And then they'll come back with a decision like around January 2026.
Okay.
And then we'll have some meetings with them. They'll want to see the site.
Mm-hmm.
It would be probably it would be this time next year that the grant would even be awarded. And then we have up to 4 years to do the project.
Mm-hmm. All right, so it's
So that's
just a
kind of the
resolution
timeline.
saying that you want to, but there's no guarantees you're going to get the
That's correct,
grant,
Mayor, yes.
right?
But you
And
are committing the 800,000.
I
wanna make
understand,
it-
but if we don't get the grant, can the 800,000 that we set aside be used for something else?
Oh, yeah, it just goes back into your general fund.
You know what I'm
reserve.
saying? I mean, so it's kind of like you set it aside, but then we could use it for whatever if we don't get it.
And then you wouldn't need, so the only reason, because believe me, when I saw 800,000, I was
Mhm.
like, but you could do what I suggested was set aside
Mm-hmm.
200,000, 200,000, 200,000, and just know that that's set aside for that. And then if you don't get it, then it would go back.
Mhm.
There's also another grant I think is going to come up later on this year. So the only problem is if you do get the grant, these funds are committed for the grant. And so if other grants become available, I don't know how that works, if you can pull out.
Mm.
Do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
there's a
I
couple
hear what
of
you're saying.
there's some little questions that probably still need to be.
And we don't know if it's 50%,
We don't know.
75%,
Sometimes they have like
whatever.
those energy efficient grants.
Mhm,
And
mhm.
I thought maybe if we spun it a certain way, we could probably get,
Mhm.
but there's still gonna be I'm assuming a percentage. I just don't know what that looks like
Mhm.
yet.
Mm-hmm. Right.
But this is the closest one we've seen for this large of a dollar amount.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yes. Counselor Marsh.
So if I'm understanding this right, it's like 4 years out, so we would still proceed with the replastering
Yeah.
to try and hold off with our current pool systems until we can get this,
Correct, because one, you won't have an overhaul of your pool, and I can't open next summer. It's leaking too much this year.
Okay.
So you have to at least, unless you want to shut down the pool completely and then lay all your eggs in one basket and hope you get the money in 4 years. But if that's not the case, yes, you would replaster, And then we would look at doing the overhaul in, like 3 years from now, if you were to even get the, I mean, this is
Yeah,
all kind of
I
hypothetical.
thought we already had agreed to do the
Yeah, yeah.
replastering because it's in the
I
budget.
just wanted to
Yeah.
clarify that
Yeah,
the
so-
timeline was such that it was not going to replace the replastering
Yeah.
because it was so far out.
Okay, all right, sounds good.
And I guess my other
Yeah.
question, and I know we went, I know I was an attendee at the presentations of all the different plans for the pool, but I did not realize that this option D did not have any accommodation for little kids. I know that we talked about a water park being too dangerous and the kiddie pool, so this one has nothing. And then my other question is the pavilion going to have any impact on the trees that are in that part of the pool property? Because it's really already a very nice shaded area that you
yeah.
may not even need could we
Yeah.
reallocate those funds, or are we going forward with Plan D if we apply for this grant?
So the council voted on Plan D because it was the most cost-effective. Now, putting the pavilion 10 feet over to not impact an oak tree, I mean, that's certainly a plausible thing to do. we would have to look at that
Or I
or
think
whatever.
you said, do we even need a pavilion?
I mean, you would have
That is a
to-
beautiful
Yeah.
shaded area already.
Yeah, I think it was more of like leveling out the area because it's kind of at a slanted slope because
is a
you had a
slanted
party, you have like a party room that really won't be there anymore. And so it was another way to still rent out to meet the needs of those private events. And so that was the thought of the pavilion portion of it. But as far as you see how the breakdown is of the pavilion number is broken down in detail there. And so you could not do the pavilion at all, but that was what the council voted at the time, and that's the plan we currently have.
Right. Okay, thank you for those questions. Okay. Yes, Mr. Campos.
David, thank you for the presentation. Great job in finding this for you and Melinda. I'm sure you're scouring every possible financing option there is, so thank you for that. You know, in the schematic, if you go back to the schematic of Design D, I just had one quick question. One more, right there. You know, I'm looking at, okay, so the lifeguard station is going to be at the corner. I saw all the shade items, and I said, well, where's the lifeguard going to go? But I guess it's in the corner there.
Yes, in terms of the lifeguard stands?
Yes.
Oh, stands or lifeguard stations number 6?
I think it's the number.
Number 4 is right now, is where they're located now.
Single shade.
So number 6 is at the
In the
very
corner,
corner tip,
yeah.
right? Okay, that was my question. I didn't see it as we were thumbing through it real quick. So,
Okay.
great job.
Thank you. And 50% is really good. I mean, for MPO, it's 80%. We only have a 20% match for construction, so you have other costs, but finding a 50% grant is really, really good, I think.
In
So-
this, to follow up, Counselor, this is a concept, so, you know, it would have these elements, but we can also move in terms of the pavilion and,
Yeah.
you know, as we kind of fine tune it with the project, as we move forward or move along with it.
Okay, all right.
I think it's worth pursuing.
Yeah, anyone else? Question, comment? Okay. All right, so we do vote on this evening. We would approve a resolution. Is that what we're doing tonight? Authorizing the staff to apply for this grant. Yes, Counselor Mersch.
I'd like to make a motion that we prepare a resolution to be able to apply for this grant, this matching grant for the pool renovations and redo.
Second.
All right, we have a motion by Counselor Mersch and a second by Counselor Orozco to approve a resolution authorizing the staff to apply to the Texas Parks and Wildlife for the local park grant program as presented. Any further discussion?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, sir.
Dr. Cardera, you had indicated that if we get other grants that we don't know that we can pull out of this one, can we make it part of the resolution that we're able to pull out if we get another grant, or do we have to commit 100% to it?
So I didn't sign it because on the thing, it was basically saying that if we're applying for the grant we're saying we have the funds, because they're spending a lot of time and energy to go through all these grant applications. And so I guess at any point before they make a decision, we could pull out.
Okay, all right,
Yeah.
thank you.
I think that's fair. Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion does carry. Thank you all very much. Appreciate the discussion. Moving then to regular agenda item 7.4, presentation and discussion on an ordinance amending the City of Leon Valley's Code of Ordinances, changing the rules for giving notice about public meetings under the Texas Open Meetings Act in accordance with HB 1522. This is a first read, so we'll have to decide to put it in the consent agenda for the August 19th meeting. And we have Sandra Pasale, our city secretary, here to present. This is an outcome of the legislature.
Yes,
This is
one
what
of
happens when
many.
they get together, right? Okay,
So
go
this,
ahead.
you get the short and sweet one at the last
Okay,
item.
there you go.
This
Good.
is super simple. So yes, the governor signed this last month, and it is effective September 1st. What this bill did was it changed our posting times, or days, not time, days.
Days.
So instead of 72 hours before a meeting, it's now 3 business days. So that's business days. So
The
we will
weekends
see
don't
some
count.
changes.
Yeah.
But, it's a good thing. It's for transparency, and they did this also to help the public know of any budget changes. So along with the day of the posting change comes this, if it's like you've got your budget items on here, so either there has to be a link to the website, and it's got to be on the homepage, or the actual budget has to be attached to the agenda, which we're not going to do. We'll attach a link and have it on the website, but that is a requirement, as well as the taxpayer impact statement. They want the citizens to understand how the new tax rate would affect their rate, and that is based on the median value home. So that's it. There isn't, I didn't put a fiscal impact. There actually is. It's going to be little, because we do have to do a codification of this. And we found, I think there's like 4 committees that actually have the 72 hours. So we're just going to pull all that out and just put a blanket statement in there.
Was
so we
why
don't have to change it.
that was one of my questions. I saw you had it for zoning, CPAC, and I can't remember.
There's 4
But I
of
was
them.
wondering why it wasn't for all of the committees.
It is, but not all of your committees, when they were created, actually had that in their, in the ordinance or
that's what-
whatever.
that was my
So
question.
it'll only be in the main, the Article 1.
Okay.
Chapter 1. So it'll be
Okay.
mentioned one time, and then the rest will just fall under that.
Okay. So weekends, you can't count weekends anymore. You can't count
We never
holidays.
did count.
You
I
never
mean,
did?
It's
Well, we
72
did
hours.
usually.
It was
I mean,
72 hours, yes. So
it
we
would
would
be
post like
Friday,
a Thursday,
then
Friday
Saturday,
for
Sunday,
Tuesday.
Monday, yeah.
Mhm.
So we used
This
to
one,
count weekends.
Dr. Caldera and I were looking at the schedule, and the only one that's going to be really tricky is going to be the January meeting with the winter
Holiday.
break.
Mhm. Okay. All right, so there's no vote. Thank you so much, Sandra, for your presentation. And no vote, but I'm assuming that y'all would like to put this in the consent agenda for the next meeting? Okay, that'd be great. Okay, thank you so much. All right, so we'll move then to request from members of the City Council to add items to future agendas per Section 3.10A of the City of Leon Valley's Code of Ordinances. At a meeting of City Council, a member of City Council may place an item on an agenda by making a motion to place an item on a future agenda and receiving a second. No discussion shall occur at the meeting regarding the placement of the item on a future agenda. So, with that said, yes, sir.
Thank you,
What
Mayor.
would you like?
During the coffee with the mayor, there was a discussion about brush being picked up and not charging the individual that this brush belonged to. And got several people to approach me about that. And
Yeah.
Olin was definitely one of them, and some other one. And I promised that I would put it back in the agenda to discuss further. It was done, I believe, in November of 2021. And we're just getting out of COVID, and it was put in the agenda by Stevens and Bradshaw, and it was unanimous that we would not charge it. We were just getting out of COVID, and people were not having to work and stuff like that, so we needed to get it picked up. I have, Merch and Campos have approached me, they said they would second. Now, I need to know, when is it, do we have the brush pickup?
September 15th.
September 15th. So if we make this effective before that, would affect this,
I don't think so. We've already noticed
we can, if we can put this in the in the council, maybe the first week of September, would that?
You can add it, I mean, you can add it the next meeting if you want to. I wouldn't because it's gonna be it's already a
Yeah.
heavy agenda, but, you can add it the first meeting in September. It doesn't affect the September pickup.
The next pickup is in February, so I mean, we could even push it to October, or November.
Right, you can begin it like the next
And that's
fiscal
fine with
year
me,
or
because,
whatever.
I mean, I did all my notes, but I thought we were meeting at 6:30, but, you know, I left them at home.
Yeah, well, there's a
about
couple
that.
of I mean, I have
Yeah.
to get some so I just have to get some costs and stuff for you on what it's costing us to do that, as far as manpower goes.
Exactly.
So I need some of that answered. So if you do the September 2nd or the second meeting in September, then.
And that's fine with me. I think that's how 6.03.005, notice to remove at the time. So, but we'll talk about it more. I got my notes.
Okay,
And,
well, we'll put it on probably mid-September.
Okay, and that'll be fine with me.
That'd
Is
be
that
all right.
okay with either one?
Okay, sure.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, very good. And
Great.
so it'll be Mr. Orozco and Mr. Campos. Okay,
And just for information purposes, we still having problems in Pavona Place with the cluster boxes. And they got notification today saying that the post office will no longer hold mail for Pavona Place, and they're going to return back to sender. Now, I did discuss it with our city manager this afternoon briefly, and she said that she would get involved to the point where she will contact the general.
The postmaster.
Postmaster.
Yeah, we'll reach out and see what's going on.
If I give her a timeline on when we would be able to do that, I just want to let you guys, just for informational purposes, that Leon Valley citizens are going through that. They're not getting their mail, they're not getting their bills, and hopefully we'll get something resolved quickly.
okay, very good. All right, anyone else? Yes, Counselor Heil.
I just want to remind people, they still have to pay their Leon Valley water bill, even though you may not have gotten a bill. Several of them didn't go out. I didn't receive a bill this month.
You didn't get a water bill either? Wow.
But several I had
U.S.
called.
Post Office.
U.S. Post
It was the
Office.
post
Yeah,
office.
we sent
It's
out our
getting
stuff.
bad.
They were sent on the 18th. I talked to David Morales at Public Works, and he said they were sent. And so they're somewhere, but we don't know where they're at. So you can call, find out how much
Nobody
you
will
owe.
get charged a late fee on this one, would they?
Yeah, your bill's still due at the same time every month. Just because
Really?
you don't get it.
Even
Yes.
though it's the post office's fault?
Due on the 10th.
Or the 10th.
We just don't know how much
Which
it's
it is.
for, so you.
Yeah,
Actually-
you did.
Roll the dice and guess.
Yeah.
So you log in. So we found out that some people didn't receive their bills, some people did. But yes, there are a lot, but just because you don't, your bill is due every month, the same time every month. Just like the door hangers, I get calls saying, well, I didn't get my door hanger, so I didn't know I was gonna get disconnected. It's like, okay, I mean,
Yeah.
you can call, you can log into your account. We'll be more than happy to get you that information. And then each account is very different. Like if you've never been late before or whatever, then we always take a look at those individually. But I have some water users that are late every single month. They wait for us to go connect before we pay.
Okay. All right. And last but not least, I'm following up from our retreat item, and that is a joint meeting with the City Council and the Leon Valley Historical Society. And I got word from the Historical Society that they wanted to be organized and meet with Conservation Society. And so, but I think we're able to maybe set that meeting maybe on a Saturday. Would y'all Saturday morning, like maybe in October, early October. I don't know. But anyway, I'll get back with you. But that was their directive to me, is that they're not ready to meet until they get their act together. They want to come with a proposal or something. I'm not sure exactly what. So that's just an update on that. Anyone else? Okay, y'all sure you don't want to stay till 10? No, I'm just teasing. Okay, without objection, we move to adjourn at 9:28 on August the 5th. Thank y'all very much for being here. Enjoyed it. And we'll see you on Tuesday, August the 19th. Have a good one.
We were supposed to be an executive session, but then that was canceled.
You know, it stresses me out. I hate that. That's the legal issue. It is.
So did y'all enjoy our meeting?
Of course, yeah, of course it is. Take care. We'll see you later.
Are you sure? I'm sorry.